Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ASRA Cup Series here in Indianapolis for the All Things Go Podcast 200. My name is Jacob Emery alongside Steven Tucker tonight in the booth. We've got 100 laps here. 0 fast repairs. Stage 1's going to end at 25. Stage 2's going to end at 55. These guys are on the track already making some qualifying times as we see Brandon Six, your last week's winner at Kansas, putting down a time at 52.171. He's on the pole. I'm not sure what's going to happen tonight, but I'll tell you what, this track here in Indianapolis is going to bring a lot of action. Steve, what are your thoughts here as we're looking at the 54 on the track doing his thing?
I'll tell you what, man, Indianapolis to me has always been one of my favorite tracks. It is historic. It's old. It's got everything, right? It's the world capital of racing. Indianapolis, you cannot get any better than this track, whether you're a NASCAR fan, whether you're an open wheel fan, all kinds of stuff. It is just absolutely incredible to be here with these cars. It's going to be a great time today, Emery.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, a lot of history here at the Indy Oval. August 14th, 1990 was the first time this track opened, and the first NASCAR race was in 1994 for the Brickyard 400. Man, I'll tell you what, these drivers, I think they're going to have a lot of fun tonight. This track's interesting. It's not easy. It's tough. It is a fast track. You got to watch your corners. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 are very tricky. And I see some guys coming out early on. Roger in that 27 putting up 30-plus laps in practice. A couple other guys out here early putting in some work. But right now we're looking at the number 87. That's Graham. Let's see what he can do out there. Jamie putting down a time. He's sitting right now in 4th position in that 87 car.
Tell you what, a lot of talent out here in the field. This track, we don't necessarily go here a lot. I mean, obviously the real world NASCAR doesn't go here as often anymore, at least for now. And so these boys getting out on the track here on the famed 2.5 mile Brickyard, it's tough. This is definitely a challenge for them. And I'll tell you what, these 4 corners might look the same, but they're not. They're very different in feel and in just overall comfort of the car. So you'll see turns 1 and 2 getting kind of tight for these drivers. 3 and 4 typically seems like it's driving a bit better. But hey, today I'll tell you what, long race, couple of stages, and going to be a good time.
Yeah, a little bit longer race tonight than we typically have. 100 laps here at Indy. Like you said, 2.5 miles here to make that full lap. It is quick. It kind of feels short, but those turns, those 1 and 2, 3 and 4 come real quick on the backstretch. As it's sitting right now, though, hey, 6 on the pole still. Pierce, he's in 2nd. Number 26, he's in 3rd. Bowie, and number 54, he's in 4th. And Jamie in the 87, that's your top 5. Still a lot of drivers out here going to put down some time to see if they can break the top 10, maybe get the pole here. Big field again, Steve. Turnout this season for season 5 has been amazing. These drivers are coming out and really having a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, 30 plus drivers every week. It's tough to navigate. In this track today, Indianapolis, it's not wide. It's pretty narrow. So we're going to see a lot of these drivers. You're not going to see a lot of too wide, maybe on the restarts and things like that, but not a whole lot of too wide as we go and progress. I think it's going to be a lot of management of the tires, of your fuel, and especially track position, because with these cars on this track, it's just so hard to pass. So we'll see a lot of strategy involved today. Again, long race, fuel stops, green flag pit stops, big time will come into play as well. So expect to see that today for sure.
Yeah, still some drivers on the track making some time. So look at the 88. He's out there, see if he can break the top 10, trying to get a pole here in Indianapolis. Want to thank everybody at home, Race Day Live, tuning in. Good turnout so far. 14 viewers early on in this race, and our sponsors, Admin Box Units Moving Portable Storage, Battle Beaver Harpoon Design, and Sim Motion. Also, big shout out to All Things Go Podcast. Check them out. They are the presented sponsor here tonight. 48 on track now. What are your thoughts, Steve? What is the goal here? Where do you want to make this line? Because like every other track we've had, Kansas last week, you seems like you could run all over that track and make it work. Here, you only got a couple, maybe one line that's got to really work out for you.
Yeah, I mean, really, the line that you want to work is that bottom line. You're watching Frankie right now running that white line. Right below the white line is kind of where you want to plant those left side tires. You don't want to go down too far because there's a concrete strip around all 4 corners that will definitely get the car loose. So, yeah, right below that white line, you'll see Frankie maybe try and hit that right there. Yeah, you see that right here. It's a fine line, but if you can get down there, you can really hit the apex a lot better and make that car turn.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is really technical. You got to slow that car down, make the right turn, or you're going to see that wall. And then 3 and 4, if you're out of the, you're on the gas too early, that car can get a little sideways, get out from under you, and you can have some big problems. We'll probably see that tonight. But right now, Frankie, he's sitting 4th at a 52.95, so he is in the top 5 for his qualifying time.
Love that. A couple of drivers right now still trying to make their fast lap. Joseph Mealy on board. You can see by this roll bar angle, the track is pretty flat. So with these cars, you really have to kind of manhandle that wheel. As we're seeing Joseph shift up, that's one thing these drivers will have to obviously navigate as well. Do you downshift? Do you upshift? Do you stay in 5th gear the entire time? A lot to play here today.
Definitely a lot to play. You bring that up. Some guys, you will see them shift down. Other guys will just keep it in 5th and go. So a lot of different strategies. These guys are going to come out, save some tires because you will have to. I think we're going to see some long runs, a lot of green flag racing, and I know for a fact we'll see some green flag pit stops as well, as we're looking at that 18 on the track. Loving that gray goose car, white and blue. Not sure what happened there. I'm not sure what time he's going to put down. Steve, is qualifying already finishing, man? We're going pretty quick here tonight. We're going to start some racing at Indianapolis.
We are rocking and rolling already. Yes, sir. Right now, high above Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Man, I'll tell you what, this place is just so killer. Cannot wait for this. But Brandon 6 with that 52.71 going to be on the pole again today. Qualifying is over, so right now we're going to get to our grid. Once the drivers get onto the field, we will go through the field and show you all of our entries today. But again, Emery, big field. Talk to us about the stages.
Yeah, stage 1, 25 laps. Stage 2 is going to be at 55. We saw in Kansas last week, we saw some green flag pit stops, which is huge because these guys got to really pick and choose when they're going to come in, and it's going to be a big strategy game as they're going to have to save some tires and figure out when they want to make that work. So interesting to see, especially on a track like this, a little bit shorter. So pit entry, that's going to be tough. These guys trying to get into pits, it's going to be really tough.
Yes, sir. Well, the field is starting to formulate onto the track. And right now, Roger Pierce from Freedom, Ohio is going to be starting in P3. Great job for him so far. Couple drivers not on the field just yet, but we already saw Brandon 6 and Frankie Barroso starting 1 and 2. Devin Smirker, watch out for him. We have a special guest today, Emery, in stage 2. So we'll definitely watch out for that. Stick around. He'll join us.
Can't wait for that.
He'll join us at the beginning of stage 2. Not Devin Sprecher, but somebody else that we'll keep secret for now, just for fun. Frankie Barroso starting in second, but Devin Sprecher, we'll get back to him. He's in fourth right now, not currently on the grid. But right now, Brandon Bowie starting P5. Jamie Grant starting in P6. Love that. Here he is, Devin Sprecher in the All Things Go podcast and Babyface Fabrication 26. Good, clean-looking ride right there. Love to see that. Matthew Fleming in the 88, starting in P7. He's back from his race last week that he wasn't there. Tell you what, Nick Lights did a great job in the 88, finishing in that P3. So fantastic job for him. Joseph Mealy, P8, looking great right there. DJ Honeycutt, solid effort, P9. Nick Silver subbing in for Kenny Reel in that Jordan ride. Man, that's a great looking ride. Kenny Reel in here today, but Nick Silver, we've seen him before in ASRA, multiple time winner. And I'll tell you what, he's a man who can get the job done today for sure. Donnie Honeycutt, P11. Great job. Richard Woodruff starting in P12. Love that paint scheme right there. Matthew Smith, P13, Season 1 champion. Thomas Meeks, there he is, in that 55 Wheels America ride. Michael Lamphere, 15th. Jonathan Wright, his teammate, side by side. Scott Casorn, love that rainbow Bud Light scheme, looking good today. Josh Larson rounding out in P18. Tyler Honeycutt, 19th place, looking great. Carolina Blue. Patrick McClendon, P19, awesome job. Richard Wolsifer in that Stinspilt machine, loving that. Jackson Anderson, 21st. Robert Hassong, 22nd place. Matthew Fleming, 24th. Anthony Williams, 25th right here. Mike Corvo, love that 22q.org paint scheme. Go and check him out. Nick Biddy, 27th place. Nick Simpson, here he is. Sauer & Son, 46. Back to the neon yellow. Love that. Daryl Young Jr. starting in 29th. We'll see him climb through the field for sure. Definitely has the speed. And then James Coffin running out 30th place. So a great job right here. Tell you what, Emery, this field is going to be looking deadly here in a second. This track is so tough. And it's always fun to watch a race like this. I'm pretty happy, pretty excited.
Absolutely, me too. Big field. Thank you for the rundown on that. Man, pace car lights are off. We're going to get started here. The All Things Go Podcast 200 in Indianapolis. I cannot wait for this start to happen. Brandon 6, Frankie Barroso up 2 in the 1 and 2. Pace car is off as we're going to have a green flag here for Season 5. All Go Podcast 200 is underway. Brandon 6 going to take us in a 1 and 2.
Tough turn 1 to get through this field right now. Everyone getting through it pretty clean. You gotta watch out that turn 1 exit. It's so tight. And right now, so far, so good for the first 2 corners.
Everybody's working that inside lane like we talked about it in qualifying. That's where you want to be. Love to see that. Little bit of side-by-side in the back, but they're keeping it very clean. Single file up front. 1 down. Brandon 6 still up front.
Donnie Honeycutt, watch out for him. He's way outside right now, but makes it work. Stage 1 is really all about holding on to those fenders. It's a long race today. Hold on to the fenders. Don't hit the outside wall and save that fuel.
25 laps into the stage 1. You were talking about it. Donnie Honeycutt back there in that Toyota, mixed up with Matt Smith and Thomas Meeks in that 55 Chevy. They're back there keeping it real clean as they're trying to figure it out, as now they're trying to go back to single file. 2 laps down. Brandon 6 still up front.
It's definitely hard to do. This is one of those tracks, in my opinion, that's so hard to run too wide just because it's so tight. And when you come out of the corners, you really have to have the right apex, even up high, because you just don't want to get tight off the corner, hit the outside wall. And right now, so far, great jobs by this entire field.
It is challenging as these guys are trying to get through these corners. 1 and 2, very technical. 3 and 4, you get a little bit loose. You can come up the track as we're taking a look at that right now. I think that was the number 27 of Pierce getting a little loose. Everyone single files across in 3 laps down. All Things Go Podcast 200.
Roger Pierce a little bit outside right there. He kind of missed that turn 1. So far keeps it going right now. Brandon 6 looking pretty strong today early.
Man, he's been strong all season, Steve. Really strong. He's got 3 wins already for season 5. I know he's going to try to come out here and get a win every single week. But I'm telling you this, I've said it every single week. I think we're going to see a new driver, new face get a win here in Indianapolis, as we're looking a little bit of outside lane there, trying to make that work as they're coming out of 3.
Solid effort. Emery, we talked about a pre-race, but one of these things that we'll see today, Indianapolis is not always one of those, flashy racetracks, right? A flashy race. What I mean by that, it's not going to always be too wide and crazy and a lot of passing, right? This is a strategy type race. Tires will come into effect here for sure. Fuel strategy, it's only about 15 laps today. So we're going to see some major green flag pit stops throughout the race. Track position will be huge. It all comes down to, hey, how do you play your cards? How do you get yourself to the front of the pack for the beginning of stage 3? I really feel like that's going to be the game changer today. We saw Josh Larson do that last week in Kansas, and it worked out pretty well for him. How can they do that again this week today in Indianapolis?
Yeah, one thing I think we'll see a lot on this track this week here in Indianapolis is we'll see a lot of lap cars, I believe. This field's going to get spread out, and these drivers up front are going to have to battle through that. So right now, 5 laps down, you can see a single file all the way back to the back of the pack. But once this race goes on up to 25 in stage 1, they're gonna have to navigate through this field.
Man, speaking of battling through, Jamie Graham right there in the 87 and Brandon Bowie with 54. Jamie got into him just a little bit. Not sure if that was trying to push him down the straight, but man, I think they both just kissed the wall down the front stretch just a little bit. Nothing going to really hurt him, but man, that was definitely tough. Right now we're seeing Roger Pierce getting around Frankie Barroso. So strong move so far. He told me pre-race, hey, watch out for me today. He likes this track. And right now, tracking down Brandon 6.
One guy I want to talk about too, Donnie Honeycutt in that 22. He's in that Toyota, putting a lot of time in practice. He was over 30 laps coming out as we got a caution. Let's see what happened. First caution of the day here in Indianapolis. Big contact there.
Man, really tough break. Robert Hissong, Marshall Harris. Hissong has some front end damage. Not looking too hot right there for him. Marshall Harris, can't really tell by the gate, but doesn't look as bad. We'll have to see in the replay, but man, that right there, that's a tough break. Looks like this is turn 3. So down that straight, definitely high speed action. Yeah, that car doesn't look too terrible right now. Take a look back at the replay and see what actually happened here. Man, that's a tough break. Lap 6. Let's take a look.
Yeah, looks like a little bit of contact in the left rear. Comes back up to the track. That's big contact there. Man, hood's off. Spins Marshall. Wow.
Yeah, we'll go back a little bit, but I think... Oh, man.
Oh, and the big contact by the number 8.
What was that about?
Robert coming through.
Yeah, we'll look back at this. It looks like the 8 might have come across the nose of the 32. We'll take a look at a better angle here. Yeah, Jackson Anderson in the 83 comes up off the grass. And then his song just comes across the 32. Man, yeah, 8. That's a tough break. I mean, looks like Jackson might have been out of shape. The 8 might have come down. Not sure what this is about right here, the second part of it, but let's ride on board Rob Hissong's view here. See if we can find out some more. Yeah, Jackson's weight. We'll go back even further because Jackson Anderson gets really, really out of shape here.
Yeah, up front there, getting in the grass, back out. And then people are checking up behind. That's what's going to cause this here.
Go back and take a look at this. Looks like Anderson might... Oh, he just... Oof. Yeah, it comes down. It comes back across.
Not a bad save there. But right there's some contact, and that's just such a huge hit. Man.
Yeah, that's tough. I do want to ride on board real quick with the song and just kind of see how this unfolded for him in lifetime. Looks like, yeah, gets spun by the 32, obviously trying to avoid Jackson. Yeah, right there.
I don't,
go ahead,
Steve,
man.
I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure if his song's done for the day, but contact in the wall on that right side, that bad. He might be in the pits for a while, Steve.
Yeah, tough break. It looks like obviously he didn't hold the brakes up there at the end, but that happens. I mean, obviously you're frustrated and your race is seemingly done. So you hate to see it on lap 7. Jackson Anderson definitely had a tough ride right there through the grass. His car looks pretty decent. Marshall Harris looks like he's back on pit road as well, coming off pit road now. So not a huge amount of damage to the number 12 Harpoon design machine, but yeah, right side looks pretty good. Not too pancaked. So we'll carry on.
Get back on the track, do his thing. 8 laps down right now. Brings out our first caution today. Want to thank our sponsors again: Admin Box, Units Moving Portable Storage, Battle Beaver, Harpoon Design, Sim Motion, and All Things Go podcast presented here for this race. Man, Steve, these cautions really do mix things up, because 25 is going to be the end of stage 1. I don't think we're going to have any green flag pit stops now. But I'll tell you what, next stage ends at 55, and that's going to be a long time unless there's no cautions.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough break. I mean, right now we're seeing the choose car come out on track, so this yellow is going to be extended by 1 more lap, it looks like. That definitely was probably not an easy thing for race control to decide as far as, you know, what they're going to do. But overall, hey, these things happen, man. Tough break. A lot went on there in that situation. So right now we're choosing.
And I'd imagine if you're here choosing your line, I think you want to be on the inside starting out. It's just a more comfortable position to be for me personally, but these drivers may feel a little bit differently in the car and want to choose that outside lane. But we're seeing a lot of cars, in fact, actually taking that outside lane. Love that we do this choose car, Steve. It's a really cool feature that we do for your ASRA Cup Series for Season 5.
Yes, sir, it is. Right now, looks like the pace car is going to be staying on the track right now. So, you know what we'll do? We'll go and thank our sponsors real quick. We'll come back in a lap and we'll go green.
And we are back after thanking our sponsors here in Indianapolis. First caution just came out. Brandon 6 and Frankie Barroso up front still. Nothing's changed. Number 27 appears in 3rd. And Brandon Bowie in that 54, he's in 4th. Fleming in the 88, he's in 5th right now. Subbing, I believe. I apologize. No, Sue, excuse me. Matthew Fleming is in the 5th.
Yes.
Pace car lights are off. We are going to get back racing. Only 9 laps in so far, but I think we're going to get some green flag racing after this caution. Pace car is off. All Things Go Podcast 200. We're going to go back green flag. Brandon 6 gets a late jump on the inside. Frankie's going to take it on the outside into turn 1 and 2. Can he get an early pass?
Man, great job. 2 wide right now, all the way back. This is definitely tough. You got to be careful here. A lot of contenders in the front. You can't make that mistake early. Oh, Brandon 6 trying to find a hole right there and finds it further back in the pack. We're 3 wide.
Talking about one driver who is subbing tonight, Nick Silver in that number 11 in that Chevy. He's working right there with Thomas Meeks trying to get past him. He's running that inside lane, making it look really easy.
Amazing job so far. 30 cars on the track. It is not easy to get around this place, I'll tell you what. as clean as they are. And so far, great jobs on these restarts.
Oh, contact with Silver and Mink. 16's in the grass right now. He's getting back on the track. Keeps it together. A little bit of checkup. Oh, man, that could have been bad. Still green.
Great recovery by that 16 machine of Patrick McClendon. Makes it work, man. Awesome job. Keeps all the fenders on it, too. Love to see that.
That's twice now we've seen some cars go in the grass, get a little bump, coming back onto the track. But hey, they're not spinning out. Doing a really good job. You were talking about it, though, too, Steve. It's hard to navigate through this track. It's also even harder to try to pass.
Yeah.
You got to really pick and choose. We're going to make that move. And inside seems like that's the only time you can really do it.
It really is, man. You're really going to find a way to get down into that low line. You want to hope that mistakes happen, maybe. Maybe a driver, drives it too deep into the corner and comes out wide, but definitely a tough job right now. Ooh, look at this. Josh Larson trying to dive in on the inside of Woodruff. Doesn't quite get it done. This is tough. This is the part of this track that's going to be the most infuriating to these drivers. It's not going to be easy to pass. So you have to set yourself up for every single corner right now, as you see Josh Larson get tight right there and not quite get a good exit out of turn 2.
Yeah, Mike's doing a good job out there, too. In the 97, he's 10 spots up, sitting 16th. Battling right in front of Josh Larson and Scott in the number 7. Tyler Honeycutt, another driver that was doing a lot of time in practice, he's sitting 19th.
I'll tell you what, this 46 car, watch out for him. Nick Simpson in 14th place right now. Where'd he come from? Having a great race so far. Right now, I believe some pit strategy is going to get him into the top 15. Love this for Nick Simpson right now. What can he do with this? Going to try and get some stage points here. A little over 10 laps to go until stage 1 concludes. Love this.
Yeah, I love it too. Such a unique car. A lot of different color schemes in there. One of the only cars that's as bright as it can be, and I love to see it. Nicholas Simpson in that 46, you know exactly where he's at on the track. I know that everybody at home watching him love to see him on here as well, so thanks for everybody being in and tuning in.
Awesome effort. Jamie Graham, we did see him early in the race at this restart. Looks like he was up front, and right now he went back quite a way, so not sure what's going on with that. But Daryl Young, he's being kind of methodical here. He's got some great points this season, and right now he's obviously showing some patience. 22nd, started second to last. Tell you what, I think we're going to see him at the end of this race. He's just, again, methodically and slowly getting to the front, the way you have to. One car at a time. I think we'll see him get to the front here in no time here.
Yeah, you said it, Daryl Young, and at 18, he's being really patient. I think he's doing a good job. I think he's going to run this track real well. And 87 and the 97 getting some contact right in front of the 18 of Daryl. As we're looking at the 66 up front, Brandon 6 up front, him, Frankie, and Pierce in the 27. Man, 14 laps down. Steve, Brandon 6 doing so good this season, staying out front.
Yeah, pass for the leader there against Frankie. So very, very good move right there. I think that was Nick Silva that we just saw. Oh, excuse me. Josh Larson got real loose out of turn 4. That was pretty wild, but great job by him right there. Yeah, right now up at the front, same drivers, just different order. But this middle pack, this is some hard racing right here for all these points they can get for this first stage.
They're doing a real good job. Single file. No mistakes now. Like we're trying to get a pass on the inside. As I say that, we got a car in the grass, hits the wall. That will pull a caution out. He's coming back on the track. Oh, and big contact at the end, Steve. Man, I know he was holding on to the brakes the whole time. You're just getting that grass. It's so thick, slick. You come right back onto the track. Unfortunate from those drivers in the back. Man, that's the second time we've seen it here.
Yeah, that was a tough break. It looks like that right rear tire looks like it's pretty well locked up, so this car's going to be done for the night. Unfortunately, yeah, it gets that car towed to the back. Not good. Let's take a ride on board. Let's see what might have happened here. We watched it live. Man, that was a tough break. Yeah, the 32, Nick Biddy. Yeah, tough. We'll go on board here. Yeah, unfortunately came back on the track. I mean, tough to see it. Gets Richard Walsifer involved as well. Man, we'll go back a little further back just to get a kind of a better look at what actually happened here. But man, oh man, tough.
Yeah, easier said than done when you're in that grass. You're going up that type of speed and you get punched out there. It's just all you're doing is hanging on. You can't do nothing. You're just sliding. It's like ice in that grass. So unfortunate here as we're looking again. Little tap and just goes sideways here.
Yeah, we'll kind of fast forward it just a little bit here. I think it happened next lap, but yeah, this is a tough break. So Nick Biddy obviously catches Scott. So then what happens once we get there? It'll happen this next time by here. Into turn 3. Scott has a kind of a slow turns 1 and 2. Nick's got a great...
Doing a little fast motion there, but we are here at where the action happens and this caution comes out.
Yeah, so right there you can kind of see it. So Nick tries. Yeah,
That's
really,
the big
really
hit
tough.
right there.
Really tough. So right now, I mean, from my angle, it looks like Biddy tried to do a little bit of a side draft on Scott, and unfortunately just did it a little bit too early, which then obviously got into his left rear quarter panel and turned him. So unfortunate there, but hey, those things sometimes happen. Long straightaways, side draft does matter, can work, but yeah, definitely a tough break for sure. As we're seeing the choose car coming on, we'll stick to this angle real quick. Watching that Harpoon design scheme, love that.
Always love this look. I'll tell you one guy that's going to be staying busy tonight. That's Brandon Davis, race control. Second caution early on, 17 laps. We haven't really seen that this season for season 5, but hey, track's been a little tricky, a little different than what we've been seeing all season. So these guys will figure it out. But yeah, big shout out to Brandon Davis, race control. Controlling this race tonight. Want to thank everybody at home as well, watching in. Race Day Live, 27 viewers. Big turnout again. We appreciate you guys coming in, tuning in, saying hi. Kenny Reel's actually in the chat saying what up. One of our Cup drivers. He is out tonight.
Love that. Yeah, this track, Emery, we get a lot of comparisons to Pocono, because Pocono has those long straightaways, you know, and a lot of the times we'll see drivers, you know, try to, if they're making a pass on the inside, typically off the corner because they have a run, they're going to try and sneak their way on the inside, you know, to their door, to their quarter panel, to get that side draft, because it really takes the air off of their cars and kind of neutralizes them both. And it's just a tactic to get around the guy. But right there, it happens so much. I mean, in the internet world, you've got netcode, you've got all kinds of things. So side drafting is not easy to do. And right there, just rears its ugly horns yet again. But tough break.
Yeah, and also we're seeing we had some contact in Kansas. We had some contact at our other races, but tonight it only takes a little bit, one little bump. And that car's going to go sideways. You can see how easy it is to get turned here in Indianapolis. I think it's just the speed going in these corners. Car's a little bit loose, and man, we're seeing early on that it's not easy. So they'll figure it out. 18 laps down, we'll go back to green flag. 25 laps is where we got to get to for stage 1. Frankie and Brandon 6, 1 and 2. Now we're looking at the number 29, Smith. He's up there. Matt Smith, he's in 3rd. Number 15, DJ Honeycutt in 4th. Patrick in the 16, he is 5th. Pace car is off. And we're going to go back green flag here in Indianapolis. For the All Things Go podcast, green flag's out. Brandon 6 on the inside gets a good job.
Hey, watch out for DJ Honeycutt, P3 right now. Great job right there. Man, great strategy. Again, drivers picking tires and picking fuel. Only 6 laps to go until stage 1 ends, so a lot's happening.
Man, Jamie Graham in 87 really driving that car on the inside. He's just slamming the car in the corners.
Brandon Bowie around, looks like saves it. Devin Smirker.
Oh, another caution. Multiple cars involved. And those are big names as well up front.
Major wreck involved. Devin Smirker right now. Can't tell the damage just yet. But definitely, you're right. Big time names. Matthew Fleming, Devin Smirker. We'll go back and take a look. But man, this is not what these drivers wanted to see. Brandon Bowie we saw involved as well with Michael Lanphier. Yeah, big damage right there for the 88. Not good. Go back a bit and take a look. It's already happening. Looks like, yeah, man.
Oof.
Woodruff
88
comes
on the
around.
inside. Yeah, it looks like two cars got into each other, got up into the wall, and that's kind of what caused the back end of this caution, this wreck to start. It's a little bit of checkup and guys getting into each other as we're taking another look here. 3 wide. Ooh, Brandon is in the wall, gets spun. Then we got the 26 involved in the 88 back there. Nick Silver and the 11 gets through.
Yeah, it looks like Bowie maybe forced it 3 wide. Let's go back and take a look. I think that might be what happened here. Yeah, so Bowie's forcing it 3 wide here. I mean, makes it Lanphier might not have known he was there. Definitely a tough move by Bowie. I mean, 3 wide this early, coming out of the corner. I mean, if you have the momentum, I guess maybe, but that's a tough move to make. Looks like everyone else behind him just was trying to avoid the wreck. Thomas Meeks into the wall. We're seeing all these drivers back here. Devin Smirker. We'll go back a little bit back and see what actually happened with him.
Yeah, to me, Michael Lanphier just a little bit slow on that outside. Brandon tried to make a move to that middle. Not a lot of room there to make it happen, but then he comes down just a tad bit, gets into Brandon, and that's what's going to send him up in the wall. But man, back here, the 88 into the grass and gets hit again right here. Boom, big contact.
Yeah, a lot of drivers just trying to avoid. I mean, Smirker right there, he turned left to obviously avoid the wreck, but it looks like he turned too much and went into the 88. So tough break for him. Fleming got into the wall right there, and then a lot of drivers were just, unfortunately, collateral damage involved in that. But tough break right there. That'll definitely take some of these drivers out, but not good to see this early on. But stage 1, we're still going. Lap 21.
We're still going. Third caution. They're choosing inside, outside lane. It's one of these tracks early on. If these drivers, especially the big names up top that are already working their way into the playoff run, this might be the race that they talk about late in the season and say, hey, got some early damage, couldn't get back on the track, couldn't get points that they needed to make it happen. So it's crucial. This all counts, man. Every race, they try to come out here and get as much points as they can to make it to the end. But one guy that's done really good job this season so far is Brandon Six. He won last week in Kansas, still up front, avoiding the wrecks. Frankie in that 48, he's got 1 win under his belt as well. Man, front 1 and 2, that Bowie Esports team doing a good job here at Indianapolis. We're only a couple laps away, Steve, until we end this stage 1 at 25. I think we're going to only have maybe 3 laps, 2 laps. Yeah. Green flag, and then it will come back out. They'll come in, get some tires and some fuel, and then we'll go to stage 2. That ends all the way at the 55 mark. That will be a big difference, a big change up. I cannot wait. Steve, a little bit of cautions. I just think they're trying to figure this track out. It's really not easy.
It definitely is tough. I mean, we're starting to slowly get to that part of the schedule. Listen, we crafted the season specifically, right? The first 3, 4, 5, or 3 or 4 races really are kind of softball tracks, big wide open tracks, pretty well easy to drive for the most part. And now we're kind of getting into that middle portion, the money portion, as they say, of the season, where the tracks are going to kind of ramp up in difficulty. I mean, right now we're at Indianapolis. Next week we're back at Indy, but on the road course, and then we're going to, Rockingham, for the throwback race. We still have Twin Ring Motegi to hit up and Milwaukee Mile. It's not going to get easier the remainder of this season, so until the playoffs hit. So right now it's, hey, you kind of got the feelers out there. First 3 or 4 races were kind of easy to kind of get into a groove, and now the hard tracks are coming. So this is going to be it's going to be a dogfight. Hate to see aggression or just moves that don't necessarily need to be made so early into the race. Because we're not even a quarter of the way into the race. But hey, I'll tell you what. Sometimes these races happen, and it comes down to who's left at the end. And right now, Brandon Six can lead us back off into green flag.
Pace car is off. 22 laps down. We're only going to do a couple more to get to that 25 mark. Green flag's out. Brandon Six on the outside gets another good jump. Frankie Barrosa Barrosa's going to take us into turn 1 and 2 on the inside. Close here.
Hey, watch out for these two, DJ Honeycutt and Patrick McClendon. What do they have for these boys? Patrick is looking really good right now on the outside, taking a good apex. Getting those stage points is what really matters right now for your season. Man, back in the field, we're 3 wide. Getting crazy.
That is a little crazy. 18 on the inside of that 3 wide mark. Can they get through this clean? And we get a turn again. Oh, man. Oh, and that's a big hit. Wow. Engines blowing, Steve. I heard one of them go.
Not good. That was just a straight left hook. Man, tough deal. Nick Simpson, like a champion, got right through that wreck. He got hit pretty hard and managed to get through it. But man, Donnie Honeycutt just got sense. You hate to see that. But that caution, the 4th caution, that will be our stage end. That is going to be the stage because it happens close enough to the stage where they're going to call it that. So Brandon Six will be your stage 1 winner, followed by Frankie Barroso and Patrick McClendon. But man, what is with the racing tonight? Tough deal.
I don't know. Tough deal. I'll tell you one thing. If they're going to learn anything from first stage, that 3 wide does not work right now here at Indianapolis. Every time we've seen 3 wide, man, look at the carnage. Multiple cars involved. That was on the first lap after the caution, Steve. Crazy.
Here we go.
It's
right
just
now,
tough though, man. It's not easy.
Yeah, and again, 3 wide. So Donnie Honeycutt looks like he's 3 wide. Man, look at Nick Simpson gets double teamed here on both sides and still manages to get through unscathed. So great job. But Donnie Honeycutt, Meeks again involved. Mealy getting involved a little bit. Not sure if we see a lot of damage on his car. Some front right damage. Lanfear also involved. So tough break. Hey, I said it earlier, Emery. This is going to come down to a race of just endurance. It's a tough race, and it's not an easy track. So you got to hold on to it, keep the fenders on it as long as you can, and be there at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of turning out to be that way. I'll tell you what, DJ, Jamie, Graham, they're figuring it out. They're trying to get through here and making it work. And you're right. You got to stay there till the end. Some of these guys that are hanging out in the back, just kind of cruising, making their way through the field. I think it's paying off for them now, as we got some early cautions in this race. This is our first stage at 25. We'll go back out. Stage 2 ends at 55.
Hey, right now we're seeing some strategy. Real quick, and we sorry to catch you up, but Brandon Six right now is still in the pits. Right now, not sure what's going on here. I don't know if this was maybe a holding penalty or some kind of issue for the 66, but in the pits, not good for him. But Devin Smirker, right now, currently on track and being shown as the leader. So looks like he maybe got out here pretty well. Some left side damage on the car. Again, not awful. The front fenders look pretty good. It shouldn't affect the aero too much. It might affect the actual handle of the car, but overall, looking pretty solid still for Devin Smirker after a pretty heavy contact with him.
Yeah, we'll have to get some information on why Brandon Six is held. Maybe he had an unsafe pit entry. I am not sure, but he's dropping all the way back there. 26, Devin is in front. Nick Silver coming up in that Chevy. He's in that 11, subbing. He's in second. Frankie 48, he's in third. Brandon Bowie, he had some contact late in that first stage. He's back up there. He's in fourth. And Josh Larson, that 51, we talked about him a lot last week at Kansas, coming out, doing a really good job, staying in that top 5 as it is right now.
Yes, sir. Right now, Devin Smirker going to get some extra bonus points right here. Love to see that. Right now, we're going to come to the choose. Brandon Six coming back on track right now. It looks like he's not going to go a lap down, which is great. Don't see any damage here as well. So let's go ahead and real quick talk to him if we can bring him in. He was stage 1 winner. we'll see what might happen with him and kind of get the scoop.
As we are going to bring in Brandon 6, your stage 1 winner. Brandon, you got a copy. How you feeling tonight?
Dude, how's it going, guys?
Good. We saw you in the pits. You kind of stayed there for a while. Did you get a penalty? What's going on with that? Now you're going to be starting in the back there. What happened?
I had to take a bathroom break.
That does happen. Fair enough. I've been there before as well. Brandon 6 taking a bathroom break, sitting in the back now. That is your stage 1 winner. Steve, you got anything for Brandon real quick?
Well, hey, man, obviously stage 1 winner, so great job right now. What's the track feeling like? Obviously a long race. It's coming down to endurance. A lot of cars getting taken out. It's just hard racing. What are you seeing there in the cockpit?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been pretty racy. I feel like if we can get strung out here and get some green flag racing, we've had a lot of green flag pit stops, which I think will spice it up a little bit throughout the run, and should be exciting.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, love to see it, man. Good luck rest of the way. And, yeah.
All right, that's Brandon 6, your stage 1 winner. Fallen back in the field, had to take a break, but he's back out there on the race track. I think we see him back up in the top 5, top 10. He's going to battle his way through the field as pace car lights are off. We're going to go back green flag racing. Different little lineup up front right now. Nick Silver, watch out. We talked about him in practice. We talked about him in qualifying. A sub coming in, seeing if he can still win here in Indianapolis. And then 11, he's subbing for Kenny Real. He is out this week.
That's right. Right now, by the way, keep in mind, once we go green here, we'll let it go a couple laps just to make sure everything is going well and clean. We'll bring in our special guest today. His name is Brian Murphy. He is the owner, actually, of Murphy Esports, of this 26 All Things Go machine here of Devin Smirker. So I'd love to see that. Also, co-host of the All Things Go podcast. So really, really cool. Gonna have him come in here into the booth. We'll talk to him and kind of get his reaction of the race live, and gonna talk about the podcast. Can't wait. Gonna be a really cool guest here for us. But right now, Devin Smirker gonna be leading this field. And guess what? Look at this. Look at this field, Emery. I mean, Nick Silver up front, Josh Larson, DJ Honeycutt. A lot of surprises here right now. What can they do here at the beginning of stage 2?
Well, we're going to figure it out here shortly. 27 laps down. Pace car will be coming off as it is off the track. And we're going to go back to green flag. Silver, Larson, and that 26 is Devin in the Ford. He's going to take us into turn 1 and 2. Green flag's back out. Big jump by the number 26 on the inside.
Man, an awesome push by Josh Larson. He knew how to get that done. And right now, man, Devin Smirker leading this field.
He's jumping way out front. Got some clean air. He says, I'm out of here. Like we talked about it, Steve, though, this is a long, long stage 2. We got to go to the 55 mark. Don't want to burn them up too much. Got to be cautious as they're going to drop to the inside, try to get away from that draft on the back of that field. Single file, a little bit of side-by-side, nothing 3 wide from what we've seen in stage 1. I think they're going to calm it down a little bit, Steve.
Yeah, right now, an awesome job. Brandon Bowie right now was involved in that that last caution a little bit. Don't see a lot of damage on that 54 machine, so that's great to see. Right side damage was pancaked up against the wall, but right now it looks like pretty solid. Roger Pierce and DJ Honeycutt behind him, trying to get there.
I've ran a lot of Xfinity cars here lately this past year, and I'll tell you what, driving these Cup cars, they can take a lot of damage, which is nice. It's a good feeling that if you get into the wall, you get in some contact, you can get that car fixed and come back out. But some of those Xfinity cars, you touch the wall like that, your race is done, your day is done. So he's out there. Brandon's back. He's sitting 5th right now in that 54 car.
100%. Well, right now we are about to hit lap 30, so about the 3rd mark of the race, as Nick Silver's going to track down Devin Smirker here. Well, right now let's bring in Brian Murphy, our guest today. See if we can snag him real quick. Ryan
Murphy, big time guy. I see him a lot on social media. He's in here right now. Brian, how are you doing, man? We got you All Things Go podcast, presented race here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, hey guys. You know what? Thank you for the opportunity to jump on, talk with you guys. It's fantastic to not only be a part of this great series as a car owner, but also getting to sponsor these races with me and Derek and everybody at the All Things Go podcast. It's really exciting stuff.
Absolutely. Steve, real quick, you got something for Brian as he's in here kind of saying what's up. We saw him come in for this season, season 5, and it's been a great pleasure to have him here because he's huge on social media, Twitter, all that stuff. He's posting a lot of stuff out there.
Oh yeah, man, love to see it. Really appreciate you joining us, man. And hey, I mean, honestly, we follow you on Twitter. The podcast is great. All Things Go podcast. Talk about that real quick, if you don't mind. Just kind of introduce yourself. I mean, you're here for as long as you want to be here. So
Yeah,
just hang
no,
around.
I have almost 2 decades of experience in stock car racing. Most recently spent 9 years at Stewart Haas Racing, and about a year ago, Derek Yoder, our co-host, asked me if I'd like to start a podcast. And one of the things I love to do is just showcase the sport, the technology, all the great things about auto racing. And it's fun to get guests from race car drivers, from NASCAR drivers, IMSA drivers, to media members, to crew members. It's really cool to showcase all these cool stories. And we usually do it Tuesdays, Thursdays, whenever's a little convenient for us or our guests, obviously. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to do these things and meet new people. And again, it's grown into maybe a little more than I expected, which is fantastic. But yeah, here we are sponsoring this great league. I love I've never really driven much on the sim side, but being able to watch these guys, the skill, the respect they showcase week after week. I mean, look at last week at Kansas and what a fantastic race those guys put on. You guys talked about Indy, what a difficult track this is. And I saw the schedule. I have 2 Brickyard 400 rings of my own. Me and Devin sat down, and this is one I circled. I wanted to sponsor this one. This is a fantastic event, a very difficult track, as you guys had mentioned. But man, yeah, just exciting stuff from top to bottom with the podcast and being a part of this series as well.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, we appreciate you being here. I think we want to keep you in the booth too because, hey, we got some green flag racing. It's been nonstop action on the track while you've been up here. Brian, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming in and saying hi and getting here in the booth. We appreciate you. Steve, you got something for Brian before we send him off?
Well, hey, I mean, listen, I mean, I don't know that we're going to kick him out, Emery, but I mean, I'm not sure if he's spotting
I'm here all night. I'll be watching the race with you guys.
Is he spotting? I'm not sure if he's spotting or not. I don't know if
Nope.
he's got something going on the track or what.
Beautiful.
No, I just like in at the race shops here in Charlotte, when they ask me if I want to spot, I get nervous inside. There's a lot riding on the line, whether it be in a Cup Series race or here tonight with these guys racing, in the iRacing leagues. I get so nervous. I don't want to be putting these guys in a bad situation. I enjoy watching. Me and my wife, we sit down. And I remember when I told her, we were going to join this league and be a part of it, as an owner, and she was kind of like, "Really? Is that fun?" And so we turned on the race, and I look over, and she's on the edge of the couch, cheering and excited. So, yeah, it's fun to watch. But this track is a tough one. I mean, like you guys said, it's so narrow. I really like the layout of the schedule, as you guys said. Really stressing the skills of these drivers, and it's fun to see Devin. We had some bad luck early on in the race, get caught up in a little bit of an incident there, but he was able to stay out during that stage caution and kind of use some strategy here. And I think depending on if we go green here, we might be a little bit of trouble with fuel, so he's gonna have to pit sooner than anybody else, obviously. But it's great to see that car up there. Love seeing those babyface fabrication colors. I know Josh Schmidt, owner of Babyface Fabrication in Kannapolis, North Carolina, is listening. We really wanted to get a nice black car, something to showcase, all the fabrication side of things. And Devin does a great job, designing these race cars week in and week out.
Hey, love that, man.
Real quick, Brian, before you get out of here, and I don't think you're going to get out of here anytime soon, but hey, Stewart Haas Racing, big time name in the industry. Talk about the number 41 wreck we saw last week at Daytona. That was the wildest wreck I've seen in a long time. How many flips he was going down? I mean, that was insane. What were your thoughts when you saw that unfold last week?
Yeah, I think regardless of what we do as an industry preparing when it comes to safety and performance, the racing gods always figure out how to test us, right? Just when we think we got everything figured out, maybe a driver hits a certain part of the wall we never expected, or we see a wreck like Saturday night, man. I mean, I've never seen in my life a wreck of that magnitude, that violence, just a fluke like that. So, but yeah, NASCAR will take those cars back, they'll dissect them, and they'll learn from things that they see from each wreck and make very quick adjustments. And that's a great thing to see from both the teams and the series, the work they do, behind the scenes, the stuff people don't do. Those teams will be at the race shops with NASCAR, disassembling and discussing what we can do to be better. And normally, like we saw Ryan Preece's wreck at Talladega earlier in the year, it took only a couple weeks before we saw some pretty large adjustments to the cockpits of these race cars. So yeah, no, it's tough, man, to see these drivers, these friends of yours, go through these moments. And but like everybody says, man, I mean, they're tough guys, man. They're out there. This is what they want to do, and they live and breathe it. And just really excited for Darlington this week. One of my favorite races of the year, and being able to really Darlington, man, it's just such a throwback. Even when it's not throwback weekend, it's so tough on the drivers. That lady in black really test man and machine every time we go there. So really excited to see how that race plays out as well.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you being up here, man. All Things Go podcast. Go check it out. This is Brian Murphy in the booth with us. Appreciate you again. It looks like we have a caution out on the track. We're going to tune back to that. But hey, we're going to get you back in the booth again later in the season. So thanks again, man.
No, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Again, love everything you guys are doing with this series. It's fantastic, from the broadcast to everything you guys provide outside of race night. Really incredible stuff. Hats off to you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Thank
Real
you for the
quick,
kind words.
give us a shout out where we can find the All Things Go podcast.
The Spotify, obviously Apple Podcasts, on Twitter at the ATG Pod. Again, we showcase these podcasts every Tuesday or Thursday, depending on what guests we have or just what's going on in life. So appreciate all the listens we can get, and don't be afraid to send us guest ideas or anything you guys want to hear or talk about.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate you. Gonna be a good rest of this race.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Ryan Murphy come up here, dropping some knowledge, got really
Yes,
good
sir.
information on stuff, man. It's so cool to have guys like that here for season 5. Man, it's just been growing since I've gone on board. I know, Steve, you've been doing this for a long time, getting these drivers here, and I think it's really been a fantastic start to this season. And we're here at Indianapolis, and it's been a good race as we're looking at now. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously bringing in these high profile, people. I mean, Brian's a great guy, obviously, and right now that's just a short snippet of about him and in the podcast and things like that. So, I mean, we'll definitely get him involved get some more races with him and the All Things Go podcast, and actually Babyface Fabrication later in the season. They're actually sponsoring Darlington later on, so that'll be a fantastic time to bring him back in and talk some more about the podcast. But go check him out, guys. I'll tell you what, I have been low-key binging all of these podcasts, and they're really good. They're informative. I love the guests they bring on. Recently they had Grant Enfinger on there, and that was a great time. And just kind of also some out of left field guests that you wouldn't expect, maybe bringing good content or whatnot. But I'll tell you what, every time they nail it. It's so good. So go check them out. I watch on Spotify, but it's a great time. But yeah, right there, that caution memory, that was brought up by DJ Honeycutt. He got loose down in the apron. We saw the replays, and didn't really, cause any issues. Kind of, came down into the apron by the access road. I'm actually surprised iRacing through the yellow because that typically wouldn't be something iRacing throws out because it's way off the track surface. But either way, here we are. Lap 39 going to go back green on lap 40, and a lot left to go.
A lot of racing left to go. We got to go to the 100 mark. And just to bring back Ryan, it's funny he says that about talking, you know, hey, you start telling people about these races and the broadcast that's coming on, and they don't really understand it. They don't know what exactly it's all about. And then you tune in on YouTube or wherever you're going to watch it, and you kind of just get sucked in. It's a lot of fun. My family involved. My wife watches it. She probably gets annoyed with me, you know, watching the broadcast after the fact or doing whatever, but that's okay. And it's fun, man. I tell you what, especially it's a lot of fun being in the booth, watching these guys battle it out and watch them compete and do this every Tuesday. Big shout out to you guys at Race Day Live tuning in. A good turnout, 34 viewers right now. Been seeing it jump up to 35, up to 40, but man, pace car's off. We're gonna go back green. 39 laps down. We got to go to the 55 mark. Brandon Bowie front. He's going to be the one taking us in the 1 and 2. Frankie, Jonathan Wright, Nick Silver, and Brandon Six is back up in the top 5. Didn't take long for him to get back up there as we're looking side by side in the 1 and 2.
Couple drivers, watch out for Jonathan Wright right here. Didn't have the greatest qualifying effort he wanted, but right now, 4th place. Tyler Honeycutt as well. Big time moves, and hey, Fuel Strat, they can go about 15 laps, and we're 15 laps from the end of the stage, so who's got the fuel? Who feels confident to make these moves right now?
Yeah, they got to be patient. You don't want to get in too much trouble. We've seen it early on now, as we're seeing guys working an inside lane still, but some of these drivers, a little contact in the back, almost 3 wide again. Way outside, he looks like he's going to kiss the wall. He does, big checkup. They got to get around him.
Yeah, Smirker there got into some heavy contact. Patrick McClendon, I believe, had a bad corner and just doored him pretty heavily. Unfortunately, Smirker got the worst of that, but keeps it going straight. So a great job. Man, tough racing. No one's giving an inch today. Tough race.
Yeah, really tough. Now, with these cautions coming out, you gotta really think about how your strategy is gonna be. Some guys are really holding off in the back. They don't want to get involved in some big damage, but I think you want to be out front right now. We haven't seen too much cautions, too much bang and dooring up front. We still got the same drivers, but man, big huge issues in the middle or the back of the pack. And now look at this. We've all been single file. They're gonna figure this out. I think we're gonna get a long run here, Steve.
I think so. I mean, yeah, that last caution really shouldn't have happened, but I'll tell you what, sometimes they do. And we're off to the races now, getting to that halfway mark of the night.
42 laps down. Only a couple more until we get to that 55. So, yeah, I think we're going to go all the way. Steve, they got enough fuel to make it, don't they?
I'll tell you what, it's going to be close, man. They can go about 15 laps. These leaders, they might go a little less than that, maybe 14 and a half. So I'm guessing by the way they're driving, they can make it. But keep in mind, once you cross that line, you still have to make a whole another lap to then be able to pit. So it's going to be close, I feel like, for a lot of these guys.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the 18 on the outside, trying to make that work. If you go back a little bit farther, Nicholas Simpson, he's in 14th. He's right in the middle of the pack, having a good run so far tonight. Mike in the 97, Nick Biddy, DJ Honeycutt.
Woo!
That's your top 12, 13, 14, 15th spot. Gets a little bit loose.
Man, oh man. Nick Simpson almost did what Matt Fleming did 2 seasons ago and just plowed into that pit that pit wall at the entrance of pit road. Man, oh man, Nick Simpson held on for dear life.
Yeah,
great job,
last season. Yeah, great job. Last season, that was one of the biggest wrecks we've had all year. Just destroyed that spot there. But I'll tell you, so it is 1 and 2. You come in, it's very technical. 3, 4, when you're getting back out and you're getting on the gas, you can get that car so loose, and it's easy to spin right there. As we're looking at a couple drivers in the far pack. Looks like we're looking at Michael, Scott, Richard, all right there. Matt Fleming, he's in the 88. He's way back there in 25th. Yeah. See if he can make his way back up to the front.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of these drivers involved in prior accidents in stage 1. Walsifer with some front end damage. Not looking too hot right now. Matthew Fleming has some right side damage in lane fear as well. But hey, a long race. Every point matters to get to the end of this playoffs and or at the start of the playoffs. So right now, it all comes down to that. Right now, Patrick McLendon having some issues here. Way down low, just got passed by a bunch of cars. Out of shape right here.
Man. Daryl Young, Nick Biddy there. Also, Roger in that 27. He's going to make that pass past the 3. Tyler Honeycutt, he's on the inside. Big run here by the 32 as well.
Great effort.
3 wide.
Oh, boy.
No. 15, 18 door there. 32 pushing that 3 car.
Great move by DJ Honeycutt. Sliding in front of Daryl Young. Oh, we see a car off. Who was that? Man, we saw a car. Got real loose at a corner exit, but collected himself. Great job.
10 more laps to go, and that's going to end it at stage 2. They're going to go back, get some tires, get some fuel. No caution so far. Brandon Bowie up front right now. Frankie Barros in that 48. And you got the 6 to 66. That's your 1, 2, and 3. Nick Silver in the 11. He's in 4th, and right in the 05. Or sorry, in the 04, he's sitting 5th.
Yeah, we're seeing something that we haven't really seen so far this season. I mean, right now, looks like some loose conditions out of these corners. It seems like they drive in a little tight, but then they come off the corners loose. We're seeing Frankie Barroso get a little loose here off corner exit, which, and I've seen that from a few more drivers here too, so definitely interesting right now, but Bowie Esports right now in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4. But in P5, Jonathan Wright having a great day right now, holding off Jamie Graham, Josh Larson, some flagship drivers. Awesome job right here for these guys. And then a huge pack involved right here, trying to finish off in this 10th, or trying to fight for that 10th place finish for the stage.
I was just going to talk about that. Nick Biddy still trying to get past that number 3. They've been battling for the last 3 to 4 laps. He finally does, and he's going to try to track down Roger Pierce in the 27. Tyler Honeycutt and DJ Honeycutt, the family there, they're going to work together back there. 18 and 26 now. And that's Devin and Daryl Young.
Yeah, so far an awesome job here. Still with about 8 laps to go in stage number 2. It's going to take a lot to get these guys down to that second stage. But once we do, stage 3, we should see a lot of green flag pit stops. I mean, 15 laps, they can really go on fuel. So we should see maybe 2 green flag stops in that third stage. Should be pretty exciting.
No, you're absolutely right. That final stage, though, I mean, we got to go to the 55 mark, and then from then on, we go all the way to the finish, and that's going to be at the 100-lap mark. So long ways to go still. Big time racing and a lot of race left, as they're pretty smooth out front there, Steve. You're looking on. Brandon Bowie, Brandon Six, Frankie, and Nick Silver just riding along, getting some clean air up front.
Hey, one thing I'm noticing right now, we're seeing a lot of like tandem drafting almost. Right now, this Bowie Esports 4 of Brandon Bowie, 6, Barroso, and Silver, right now they're kind of in a line right here. They're kind of separated by everybody else, but a 2-second lead on the second pack led by Jonathan Wright and then Jamie Graham and then Josh Larson. All 3 of these guys are kind of sticking to themselves. And then behind them, Roger Pierce has this whole pack behind him. It's very interesting to see how the draft is working. Oh man, what's that? Who is that in the back? James Kaufman got real squirrely loose out of 4 and held on to it.
Held on to it very nicely. We'll start seeing these drivers too late in this race, Steve. You'll see them start going down to the inside and coming back out. What they're doing is they're trying to lose that draft from the car behind them. They don't want to have that car behind them catch them down, and that's why you'll see them kind of go inside and back out and It's going to be fun to watch those guys do what they do at the end of this race. 49 laps down, though. We got a long ways to go as we're seeing this little battle here with 3 drivers going into turn 3 and 4.
Yes, sir. Right now, a lot going on. The closest battle on the track looks like between 21st and 22nd. Woodruff and Kaufman, excuse me, having a tight battle right here. A lot going on. Multiple drivers, multiple laps down. Again, Scott Casorn, Michael Lanphier, Robert Hissong, all at least 8 laps down, so tough breaks for them, but still in the race, holding on to it. Again, every point matters for them. And caution flag is out.
It's going to be real close. This might end the stage. We may have 1 lap left when we go back, but talk about some of these drivers' laps down. We still have a full field besides 1 driver as we take a look at the replay here. Guys still up top. 1 driver still trying to get 87.
Yeah, Jamie Graham.
That's Jamie Graham.
I don't see a lot of damage on that car, but he was in that small pack with Jonathan Wright and Josh Larson, so not sure what might have happened there. We'll go back and take a look for sure. So Graham makes a move here to pass Jonathan Wright. Doesn't quite make the corner, potentially. Yeah, just kind of overdrives it just a little bit. And then comes across the nose of Jonathan Wright. Tough break. I mean, yeah, if you miss that corner, and we talked about it, turn 1 especially, if you overdrive that corner just by a little bit, it's tight, you know, and it's really hard to recover. Not a lot of damage there by the 87, which is good, and by the 04 of Jonathan Wright, but yeah, tough break right there. Josh Larson squeezes on by for a top 5 finish. I believe this will end the stage as well, because anything within 5 laps of the stage will be called the stage end. So we'll get verification from race control.
If that stays true, Steve, then Brandon Bowie in the 54 is going to be your stage 2 winner. Get some points on the board. Last week he was doing really good in Kansas, had some issues in the pits. I think he was speeding, got held behind, didn't have the great finish that he would like, but right now tonight he's doing a really good job. He's your stage 2 winner and the leader in the 54. 55, 51 laps down. If this stage does end, we'll be at the 55 mark and go back. Green flag. Got to go all the way to the 100 mark. A lot of time left. We're only halfway through this race. As they go down, I think we'll take a quick second. Thank our sponsors. We'll come back racing live in just a few. All right, we are back here in Indianapolis. We're going to bring in the number 54 of Brandon Bowie, your stage 2 winner and your leader of the race as we are now. Brandon, you got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, congratulations on that stage 2 win. It's been kind of hectic here starting out. We only have 50 laps down. We got to go a ways to go. What are your thoughts? I know you want to stay out front, but man, what are your thoughts staying out front with your teammates?
Yeah, just trying to control the race, honestly, is all I was really trying to do. With the amount of wins that Mr. Six has, I was just trying to come out here and steal a win. So, not a guarantee, but, if we could just get a good solid finish. Last couple of races have not kind of gone my way. So, just trying to get back on the rhythm, having some good luck, and hoping the team does as well and just has a solid race for the rest of the night.
Right on. Well, it's good to hear your voice. I miss you in the booth. I know me
Miss
and
you
you
too,
did
buddy.
last season, but yeah. Before you go, Steve, you got anything for Brandon?
No, man. I mean, right now we're seeing you pit right now, kind of off sequence. It looks like. What's going on here?
Yeah, so I got double. I got kind of screwed out of pitting again because I got called at the last minute that was staged. So, but I was told that I would get back to the lead. So we'll see what happens.
Alrighty. Sounds good. Good luck rest of the way, man.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that is Brandon Bowie in the 54 Stage 2 winner. Had to go into the pits late. I think he's going to get back up to the front and lead the way. Frankie, we haven't talked too much about him. He is right now in first place. It's been sitting top 5 all day long. Steve, this is where the notes kind of get thrown out the window and you start fresh. Halfway through the race, this is where everything changes. And this is where strategy really comes into play. Got all the fuel, you got all the tires. You just gotta last. You gotta stay out there. I think we're gonna see a big, long green flag racing, but I think we'll also see a green flag pit stop for the first time today.
Yeah, I think this is going to be tough because right now, I mean, the stages obviously, are coming in, and there's been some, inopportune moments of cautions and just bad timing, right? So the green flag pit stops haven't really come yet, but hey, this throws a wrench into it because right now, normally the stage 2 would be ending as we come across the line this time by, but since the caution came out 5 laps before, we have this unique rule in ASRA where we, if a caution comes out within 5 laps of the stage end, we'll call that the stage end because obviously we don't want back-to-back cautions and prolonging the race some more, so we do that. So right here, this is the stage end, and we're going to go back green. This changes the game quite a bit in stage 3 because now they have 5 more laps on fuel they got to go, and barring any more cautions, we should be seeing at least 2 more green flag pit stops.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. We haven't really seen that all season. Kansas, we saw a couple, or we saw one at least. But man, I'll tell you what, Nick Silver in the 11, that Chevy coming in subbing today, he's sitting there in that number 4 spot in that top 5. Love to see him. I know some drivers right now, especially those guys like Brandon and Frankie, they don't want him to come out and steal a win because he's very capable of doing it. And Josh Larson talked about him a lot last week at Kansas. He's up there sitting very nice. Man, we're going to go back to green flag. 6 cautions so far, but 54 laps down. Pace car is off. We're going back racing in Indianapolis. Number 54, your stage 2 winner, is going to take us into turn 1 and 2.
Great effort so far right now. Josh Larson, again, similar spot, beginning of stage 3. Here he is in the top 5. He likes this strategy call. And look, oh man, Roger Pierce.
Already loose. 11. Pierce in the wall. No caution yet. Still green. Can he keep it clean? Getting back on the track, he does. Very good by him. Nick Silver, we just talked about him. Now he's going to jump all the way back in the field. Unfortunate there.
Man, really tough break. Roger Pierce looks like he smacked the wall, and then Nick Silver was just right there. So tough break. Oh man, Jonathan Wright. Whoa!
Oh, big contact there. Unfortunate, huge wreck.
My, oh my.
That might have been the biggest wreck we've seen all day long. Thomas Meeks in the 55. Huge hit. He's going to take it to the pits. That might be the end of his day.
Yeah, Jonathan Wright, unfortunately, blown engine, looks like. Thomas Meeks as well. Tough break right there. We're seeing fenders flying everywhere. Nick Silver's not looking too bad right here, actually. We'll go back and look at both of these, but man, that was intense for sure.
Yes. Steve, I'll tell you, one guy that wanted that caution to come out was Nick Silver. He didn't get any damage. He just got pulled way back in the field. Was probably going to maybe go a lap down. That caution comes out. He can come back and try to make his way through the field. As we're looking way up here, up front, into the wall, 27 gets loose. Contact 11, then that drops him way back. Not too much contact, and then he sends it right through the grass and gets back on the track and enters safely. So, man.
Yeah, so Pierce got loose right there after the corner. We saw that. But then this next incident, let's go back and see if we can track down what happened there. Man, that was a tough break right there. Looks like it started by Jonathan Wright potentially.
I think we'll see both of these drivers have to end their day as we're looking on right now. Loose, the front bumper comes off, big contact here, and this is
man.
I think it was a situation where he thought he could go on the outside, didn't anticipate that contact with the car, and then jumped way back outside. It's probably going a little too fast, didn't have enough time to get on the brakes, and that's going to end his day. Unfortunate caution again here at Indianapolis. It's been crazy action.
Might be a bigger storyline here. Let's take a look.
See, it looks like something kind of broke. Just went way upright.
Yeah, so right now we're going to see Jonathan Wright make a pass here for Josh Larson. And then Josh, I think, might have gotten into him here, maybe out of 4. Oof. Just gets into him.
Yeah, that's a big contact. Did not see that from back there. Oh.
Man, yeah, I'm not sure if that was any kind of like retaliation, but it just kind of seemed like Josh kind of drove, not drove through him, but I don't know. We'll look on board here, see if we get a good angle from the cockpit, see what might have went on. Man, just stayed in the gas right there, so tough break. Not sure if that's just aggression or if that's just Indianapolis, but man, you hate to see it either way.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of wrecks like this. Just a little bit of contact's going to send these cars into the wall. Inside in the grass, it's just been crazy. We're seeing it time and time again. 58 laps now down. We're going to go back green at about the 60 mark as the choose car comes out, and they're going to decide if they're going to go on the inside or the outside lane. Frankie in the 48 is now up front. Brandon Bowie in the 54, he's second. Josh Larson in the 51, he is third. Nick Biddy, 32, he's fourth. And that number 15, oh, excuse me, number 15, DJ Honeycutt, he's in fifth. That's your top 5. Been a wild ride so far, Steve, as we're looking on. A lot of action.
Yes, sir. A lot of action and a lot going on today, but hey, sometimes it makes for a good race. And right now, a lot is happening, but again, right, the race is tough, right? The track is tough. This isn't one of those tracks that these drivers really race on all the time because, again, you know, the real world NASCAR goes to the road course. So here on the iRacing service, we don't really go here anymore. So it's tough. So we expected this race to not be, you know, buttery smooth, but hey, at the end of the day, it's tough racing, and who can last?
Yeah, and like you were talking about it early in this race is, hey, these tracks don't get easier. They get harder. Next week, we go back to Indianapolis for the Oval, which I have a love-hate relationship with road courses. I love a road course, but I'll tell you what, it takes about 10+ hours of just time and practice and practice and practice to maybe finish a top 15. But I'll tell you what, it's really hard to come out here and get these top 10 finishes day in and day out. And some of these guys up front that do it, you know, weekly, you got Six, Honeycutt, Young, Biddy, Larson now. They're doing a really good job out here right now so far. 59, going to be 60 laps down.
Yeah. So right now we're getting word from Race Control. That incident's going to be looked at post-race. In between regarding that 51 and the 04. So not sure what went on there, but he wants to look back and see what might have happened. So could be some, who knows? Could be a lot going on there, but either way, right now, Frankie Barroso going to be leading this field. And Brandon Six right now has fallen back down to 8th. So it looks like he's trying to get some pit strategy. A lot of drivers, though, up front. Again, we talked about him earlier, but Daryl Young, right now, currently being shown as P5 in that 18 Grey Goose machine. I'll tell you what, he just gets himself to the front at the end of these races. And here he is again with about 40 laps to go.
He's always keeping that number 18 car clean. One driver the chat are having a lot of fun with because he's got a big showing. That's Nicholas Simpson in the 46. He's now worked his way in the top 10. So watch out for him. He's staying alive out here. That bright 46 car. Love to see it. Chat's eating that up right now. Everybody at home, Race Day Live. Appreciate you being here. 25 plus viewership. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Ryan Murphy in the chat saying, what's up? Pace car's off. 59 laps down, 60 when they do cross. Frankie and Brandon Bowie in that 54 are going to take us into turn 1 and 2. Inside lane's going to get a good push, but the 48 right there next to the 54's door is going to be right on the outside. They're the 1 and 2. Josh Larson inside the 32 trying to make a run as well. He's going to be sitting back and forth.
Oh, boy.
18's going to make top 5. Crash in the back. Big wreck, and that's another caution here at Indianapolis.
Man, Patrick McLendon and Tyler Honeycutt. I think Patrick might have gotten loose maybe on entry and then collected a driver. That's a tough break right there. Let's go back and take a look. Oof, it's already happening. Marshall Harris pounds the wall. Anthony Williams, not having a great time right there, but we'll go back even further. Looks like it might have happened much further back. There we go. So Patrick McLendon in that 16, number yellow on the top there. Yeah, okay, so it looks like the exact same thing that happened to Roger Pierce a little earlier. Just got loose and collected Nick Silver, but right here kind of did the same thing, but managed to stay up against the wall and just collected a couple drivers. Not something you want to see, but we talked about it earlier, Emery. I mean, it seems like it's tight entry, but then loose off. And and right now, that's a great example of what happened there, but tough break.
Yeah, I think these drivers just gotta get through the couple laps. So right now, the last couple laps, we've seen early cautions after the restart. If the field just kind of lets itself settle in and you go single file, we can make some good laps here and make some good racing. But they're just trying to battle for position early on and get to the front. But talked about it all day. Indianapolis is not an easy track, as you were talking about it. 1 and 2 is technical. 3 and 4. Trying to get back into the throttle, getting a little bit loose, getting some just very slightly contact in the rear of these cars and sending them into the wall. But I think we'll figure this out. There's still a shot for a green flag pit stop, Steve. That is not out of the question because we're only at the 62 mark. We got to go all the way to the 100 again. So they don't have enough fuel. We got to go back out there and figure out a strategy. So fun to watch though, Steve. Nonetheless. Here for the ASRA Cup Series Season 5. All Things Go Podcast 200 here at Indianapolis. Love to be here every Tuesday.
Yes, sir. And right now, again, 38 laps to go right now. They're choosing. So a lot going on here. We'll give you the alternate angle. Nice, fun, alternate kind of a day today. And I'll tell you what, I mean, yeah, 38 laps to go. These drivers have to at least, assuming they just pit right there, they have to pit 2 more times for fuel. They can really only go about 15, 16 laps maybe if they're really conservative. So right now, 2 more pit stops, definitely a possibility. So we'll see how that works too. But yeah, right now, I mean, a lot going on. Again, patience. You know, everybody up front has been patient. Right now, we're seeing Nick Biddy up front, P3. You know, this is one of those races where, you know, when I drive personally, I'm always all about, hey, how can I stay in the front and be there more often than not, right? If that means I'm on a different tire strategy or different fuel strategy, then fine. But I want to avoid the second half of the field because that's typically where, you know, the messes start, right? So I think we're seeing some guys do that. I mean, right now, Nick Biddy, Josh Larson, again, Daryl Young, Matt Smith, you know, Nick Simpson up to P8 right now. So Nick Simpson, I mean, like these drivers are just staying in the front and staying out of harm's way. And I think that's really, you know, an indication of they're just keeping a clean race keeping the fenders clean. And when you do that at this type of endurance race, as it's come to be, you're going to see results.
Yeah, and here's the other aspect of it is Brandon Bowie up front. He was our stage 2 winner. When we talked to him, he's just trying to get a feel for the race. When you're out front and you're trying to get a feel for the car and kind of getting that rhythm, every time these cautions comes out, it's almost like a reset, and you got to do it all over again. You got to figure out, is the inside lane going to work for me? I got to get a good restart. I got to do all that. So these guys up front, it's not easy. Josh Larson, Frankie, Brandon, Nick Biddy now in that 32. They've all got to continue to restart their mentality and get going. But like I said, I think we'll see some long racing here, and we'll see a green flag pit stop.
Yes, sir. Well, our 8th caution, technically our 6th for incidents after the 2 stages. Right now, we're going back in again for the 9th time, I guess. Lap 64. We're winding this thing down. What can we do here today?
It's slowly but surely coming to an end. 63 laps, gonna be 64. Frankie on the outside gets a big jump behind. Josh Larson's gonna push in. 54, Brandon Bowie on the inside. Those are 1 and 2 out front early. 32 and the 18, they're all gonna be in the mix up front. Can't leave out number 15, Honeycutt, and the 29 of Smith. Right back there as well, single file up front.
That was a power move right there by Frankie Barroso on the outside, passes Brandon Bowie. Great job.
Still got some tires right now early on in the last stage. Long ways to go, 64 laps down. 65 when they cross. Woo. Frankie up front looking very strong. 18 as we look on board on the inside, trying to make a move, and that's 26 right behind him.
Oh, Matt Smith
kisses the wall there.
Matt Smith, big impact there on the outside of turn 4. Not good right there for him.
You will go a little bit farther. We got Jamie Graham in this 87 in the mix. Gets past the 46. The 46 is to the wall. Gonna hold up traffic. He keeps it clean.
Nick Simpson kisses that wall. Looking all right, though.
Now, Steve, we talked about it. Brandon 6 was all the way back up to the 5th position. Now he's in the middle of pack, sitting 10th. He's got to work his way through Nick Silver in the middle of that. So he's got 3 drivers side by side in front. Going to be interesting to see how he can save those tires and make it work. 3 wide almost there, getting a little bit loose.
Yeah, right now, great racing. I think you kind of nailed it, Emery. I mean, after the first maybe 2 or 3 initial laps, things kind of calmed down. Drivers started to get single file. I mean, we've seen longer green flag runs, just not quite long enough. And right now, Nick Silver going to get pushed. Thomas Meeks, man, 4 wide there for a second. Great moves right here. Bowie Sport teammates holding on to it.
Again, that low line work, Steve. Had to make that work on the 3 wide situation, not coming up the track. Brandon 6 still got a lot of tire left as he's right behind Nick Silver trying to make it work.
Oh,
One
boy.
car, 87 and 32. 32 way loose, gets a checkup. 29's right in the rear.
You can just see the wheel through the windshield. That man was fighting for his life. Nick Biddy somehow keeps it going straight. Good moves right there.
Not only Nick Biddy, but Roger Pearson, the 27. He was right in that mix. He did a really good job checking up and going to the inside. Speaking of inside, might make a move and get a pat.
Tough, bro. Oh, hold on.
Watch out.
Oh, boy.
Jamie Graham, Doran, Roger Pierce makes it work. Unbelievable. Matt Smith on the outside of that. There was no No caution there. They did a really good job making it clean through that pass there. Could have been a lot worse as he's going to drop it back inside.
By the way, we're getting word on that last restart that, on the choose. Oh, man. Roger Pierce.
87 in the wall, 29 way below. Stay low. Gonna keep it green if the 87 can stay true. Looks like he's gonna maybe stop on the track.
Not yet. He's keeping it going. Green flag still remains. We are keeping it going, but Matt Smith, Jamie Graham, big contact right here. Matt Smith still on the track as well. Really, really slow. Gonna hobble it down to pit road. Tough break.
Jamie Graham's gonna have to take it back to the pits. He's gonna get towed. That will put him a couple laps down. Unfortunate for him, as we've seen another car coming in. That's the 27 of Roger Pierce.
Yeah, 3-car incident right there. They all kind of kept it straight, surprisingly. So right now, no caution. Also, we're getting word on lap 63. Joseph Mealy smacked into the back of the choose car. And the choose car currently has 8 minutes worth of damage. So tough break for Mealy in that choose car. Man, it's the heat's turning up.
The wheels are falling off a little bit, especially the choose car. That's the second time this season that a driver has hit the choose car. Hopefully, we can continue to go green, and that way that choose car can come back on the track. But right now, we're looking at Josh Larson in that 51. He's now in P3. Fantastic outing for him here at Indianapolis. He's right on the tail of Frankie and Brandon Bowie. Can Josh Larson get his first win this season for season 5?
I'll tell you what, Josh really, oh man, kissed the wall there. Not hard, maybe. A little bit. The right side's pretty well beat up, but we'll see how we can do here. But yeah, little things like that you got to avoid. But man, yeah, Larson circled this track on the calendar. He likes this track a lot, did really well in previous seasons. And right now, in that P3, about 3 seconds in front, 2 seconds in front of Devin Smeriker. This pack right here, a lot of fast drivers, Silver, Young, Brandon 6 right there as well. So expect these guys to catch up to that front pack.
Yeah, don't forget about, Daryl Young in the 18. We talked about him early on. Just finds a way to survive, always making his way through the pack in that top 5 position, top 10. Fun to watch him in that Grey Goose car.
And look at this, Matthew Fleming, even after all the damage, currently in P11. Also, Richard Walsifer, again, big incidents. Jackson Anderson finds himself in P13. So a lot of these drivers, and again, maybe on alternate, fuel strats and things like that, but either way, they're finding themselves in the top 15 after just kind of bad luck races. So overall, great effort by these drivers here today so far.
Yeah, Jackson Anderson at 83. He's in that Chevy. He's up about 8 spots. Been putting a lot of time this week in this Indianapolis track, and it's proven to be pretty good.
Anthony Williams in the 5 machine, that Butler Brothers sand and gravel. That's a clean looking ride. Right now, we saw him getting involved in a little bit of an incident before, but man, right now looking really, really strong. Again, P16, keeping the car clean. That's sometimes what it means. And he's doing a fantastic job doing it. Love to see that right there.
Yeah, he's got a really cool paint scheme on the hood. Kind of looks old school, but you go towards the back, it's got some a little bit of flair to it.
Sure does. Right now, Brandon 6 pushing his teammate Nick Silver. Trying to get around Daryl Young. Daryl's way up high right now. We're going to hold on to that. Bring it down. Oof. That was so close right there.
Here's the thing, Steve. We talked about Brandon 6. He had to make his way through the pack. He's got to make these passes, and it's burning his tires up. He's typically out front. He's got all that clean air. He can kind of pick and choose how he wants to run this line. But right now, he's got to get through the 18. He's got to catch up with Nick Silver. That's a hard feat. He's got to go all the way up to the number 26 of Devin in the Ford. Man, he's got a lot of work ahead of him to get a win here.
Oh, for sure. And right now, look at Nick Simpson too. This is a guy who fell back quite a bit. He's been all around the place right now. Up front, top 8 at one point. Right now in 14th place. looking really solid. Having a great run right now in 14th. Keeping the nose clean so far. And that's what you got to do. So far, a great run.
Yeah, it's been a good outing for him as well, as he's got Richard at number 4, the Toyota right behind him. They're going to push each other. 73 laps down. We got to go to the 100 mark. 74 now, as Brandon Bowie's still out front, and we're seeing some drivers come down to the pit, Steve. First green flag pit stop of the evening.
Here it is. This is going to be it. Stage 3, green flag pit stops. This will change the overall landscape of this race. How do these guys do it? This is one of 2 expected green flag pit stops for this race, this stage 3.
Yeah, I think right now, if you got 74 laps down, you got a long ways to go. You're going to take all 4, get some fuel, get back on the track, and you're going to try to make it all the way through. But like you just said, may have to come back in and get some top off the fuel tank at the very end. So very interesting. We're going to see some different strategies as not the whole field, but majority of the field came in and got some fuel and tires.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing the leaders coming down pit road as well. Brandon Bowie, Frankie Barroso, as well as Daryl Young, Nick Biddy. So expect everybody to start pitting now. It's lap 75, so we're 25 laps to go. Again, after this round of pit stops, you can definitely expect them one more time. And then that'll be it for the race. Yellow flag might change that, but hey, so far, this will change everything, Emery, for sure.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. This is where the money's made. You got to pick and choose what you got to do. And, hey, I bet you some of these drivers coming in, maybe only getting 2 tires. I don't know if that's the right call, but they might be thinking that there's going to be another caution late in this race. But the way they come back out on pits and get back on the track, it's going to be fanned out. And we're going to see a big, huge mix-up of top 10, top 5, and guys in the back trying to battle it back through as well. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yes, sir. Right now, 25 laps to go. That's a long time around this place. We're seeing Patrick McLendon come down pit road as well for his green flag pit stop. We're going to come down and get that car serviced. Love that. So the lead will be handed over to Nick Silver. He'll get that extra point. Again, as a sub, that doesn't really mean a whole lot for him, but that will definitely go towards the team points of Bowie Esports. So a great run right there for him. And one thing, Emery, that I think this will do, green flag pit stops, if we can maintain this for the rest of the race, this will really open up the field and sprawl out, for the most part, all these drivers. So green flag pit stops, it's so important to come down pit road, get a good entry, and then come off cleanly. As we see right now, Frankie Barroso got that lead back from Brandon Bowie.
Yeah, and you might see some faster times from some of these drivers that were trying to get through the field, like we were talking with Brandon Six. Got in that mix-up, just got to get through the traffic. You'll have guys come out with some fresh tires, puts down some really good times, and they'll make up some ground. 24 laps to go as we got a couple more cars coming into the pits. Nick Silver and the 11 now, as it stands, if it stays true, he's up front in the number 1 spot. Brandon 6 in the 66, he's in 2nd. Richard, 56 3rd. But I think some things are going to change a little bit. Frankie and Brandon Bowie are right back there as well, as they're going to come through the field. Now they sit up in the top 5.
So yeah, right now a lot of drivers taking those tires, obviously. 24 laps to go. You want those fresh tires and get around this place the best you can, nice and comfortable. And then, yeah, I mean, look at this. Nick Silver comes down pit road. Brandon 6 stays out. Interesting enough. So we'll see how that works for him. Again, maybe, hey, if a caution comes out right now, that traps a lot of drivers a lap down. So we'll see how that works. Richard Walsifer also coming down pit road.
And Brandon 6, one of those drivers, such a good driver at saving fuel. If one guy can come out here and put on another couple laps, if he has it left and save those tires, he can do it. He's been doing it all year. 18, though, look at him. Mr. Young, looking good. Josh Larson as well. Love to see all these names in the top 10. See what they can put out on a show here today.
Yeah, the fall off on these tires really aren't huge, but the undercut still matters. I mean, these guys, pitted early. Maybe 3 laps ago at this point, almost 4 laps ago. And that matters to a degree because you're going to be coming out with faster lap times. And that definitely plays a pretty big role into how you get through the field. Right now, we're seeing Nick Silver going to be coming out right in front of Josh Larson. So a great stop by him right there.
You know, it's too bad that the NASCAR Cup Series doesn't come back to this track. I think they will eventually, but I just want to say, I think it's the attendance they had. They just couldn't get the people out here to watch the race. But the way things are going the last couple of years at NASCAR, I think if they came back, it would be a great show.
Oh, for sure. I mean, after the Indy road course race like a couple weeks ago, they were already testing the oval a little bit, a couple of drivers. So I think it's definitely going to make its way back. It's just a matter of, to what capacity and when. But yeah, right now, a lot going on here. Man, ooh, not Kenny Real, normally Kenny Real, but Nick Silver in Kenny Real's ride today. Having a good run right now. A nice recovery run, especially after an earlier incident involving him and Roger Pierce. Right now, holding on to it pretty strong. Josh Larson having a fantastic run. He's really had, we joke about Josh Larson because last season, the first 4 races, he had a combined total of 8 points and still found his way into the playoffs. And right now, he has done an absolutely great job in these first 4 or 5 races and making an impact here early in the season. So, love to see it. Definitely a much better season for him so far. And great things are coming for sure. DJ Honeycutt, man, look at him. P4.
Yeah, these names up front, it's just so fun to see. It's great to watch. We got 83, Jackson Anderson. He was kind of flirting with that top 10 as well. He's sitting 16th, coming back onto the track. He's all by himself back there in that Chevy, but he's got Tyler Honeycutt not too far behind. He's got a mix of the 3 and the 26. So, man, it's kind of getting fanned out here, Steve. 20 laps to go. I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but right now, Brandon 6 up front, that is dangerous. Can he get his 4th win this season?
It's dangerous, but I'll tell you what. I mean, Frankie Barroso, Brandon Bowie, they are catching him slowly. I mean, but 6, he's still got a pit. I mean, so it's obviously he's on a different strategy than these guys, but he still has to pit at least one more time. And I think he's kind of playing that game of, hey, if a caution comes out at the right time, then he can pit with everybody else. But he really has to wait for another 5 laps. He can't have that caution come out now. It would have to be in about 5 laps to equalize everybody, because at that point, everyone comes down, put on tires, fill the fuel up, and then everyone's good to go for the end of the race. So definitely a tough break, potentially for Brandon 6, but hey, sometimes you never know. If this thing stays green, I've got a feeling Catbird's seat belongs to Frankie Barroso or Brandon Bowie.
He's right there. 15 of DJ Honeycutt in that Toyota 2. He's in 4th. Devin in the 26. He's been flirting all around, and now he's sitting there in 5th. Can't count out Nick Silver and Josh Larson, though, too. We've been talking about him. Daryl Young in the 18. Man, oh, man, as we're on board, the number 15 of DJ Honeycutt going to get a pass on the inside.
Yeah, of his father right there, Donnie Honeycutt. So Donnie's going to obviously give his son a break right there. Donnie's gotten into some bad luck this race. But DJ Honeycutt, really impressive so far. All of these Honeycutts, Tyler, DJ, and Donnie have all shown some great speed this season. And DJ really taking advantage of it. I would say DJ's probably had the best luck out of all 3 so far this season. But hey, putting himself in a position to really have a good finish again. Really impressive race so far. And then Devin Smirker, after all he's been through this race, through cautions and getting involved in some incidents, right now, top 5. You cannot frown about that. Definitely a great finish if you can maintain this. And I'll tell you what, Tyler Honeycutt maybe coming down pit road. Not quite. Just went wide right there.
18 to go. This race is coming to the end as we are looking at Brandon 6 now. Going to come off the track and go into the pits. He's going to get some, or actually, excuse me, he's coming out. He's faking me. What's going on here, Steve? He went way early in, so a little confusing there. If he's coming out of the pits, he just got done, Steve. I apologize.
Yeah, so coming out of the pits with 18 laps to go, I mean, this is definitely not in the fuel window. I mean, if he holds on to, if he can, save fuel, then I guess maybe. Again, keep in mind, if he can save the fuel and stretch it 18 laps, I mean, that's a great job by him. Everybody else has to still pit. So, this is definitely an alternate strategy for sure. But it just depends on, hey, when that caution comes out. At this point, Brandon does not want to see a yellow flag come out, because then everybody will come down pit road, top off on fuel and whatnot, and Brandon will be stuck in P7 or even worse.
Absolutely. I think it's experience, man. We had some drivers last season doing the same thing, just coming out here, saving as much as they can, and it paid off for them. Let's see if it pays off for Brandon 6. He's got a lot of time left, though. 17 laps as we see another car. That's the 26 in the pits. Going to get quick little tires, some fuel, and get back on the track.
So again, I mean, obviously Smirker thinks he's comfortable enough to go the rest of the way on fuel. So a smart move here. Again, if it does go green, hey, they might be the smart ones here, and we're just along for the ride. But great job by these drivers. Josh Larson coming down pit road as well.
Time will only tell. Looking at the chat now, the number 46 race team says, hey, prayers and thoughts to everybody affected by the hurricane in Florida. As we'll say that too. I think we have a lot of people that we know in Florida, drivers that may be. Just be safe. Looks like a hurricane's coming through. So anybody affected by that, thoughts are with you, and be safe.
Yeah, I'm not
16 laps down.
I'm not sure of the timetable for that hurricane, but man, yeah, it definitely looks pretty rough. So yeah, hopefully everybody down there is safe. We have a lot of family down there in the league, a lot of drivers. So hopefully we can make sure they're safe and keep it going. But right now, you're right. 15 laps to go. Pit window's going to open up for these drivers for the majority. So we'll see how this happens. But again, man, I'll tell you what, a yellow. We know we've seen a bunch of yellows so far this race, but a yellow right now would literally change everything.
Don't curse us too late here now, Steve, as we have had a long run right now. But number 11 on board there. He looks like he's going to be coming into the pits. That's Nick Silver. 7 for Kenny Reel. 2 to 3 more cars coming into the pits, going to get some fuel. 15 laps to go now. Frankie is your leader, right behind Brandon Bowie, as we're looking on board the number 46 coming in slow pace. Don't want to speed too much.
Tell you what, super impressed by DJ Honeycutt right now. Obviously Nick Silver in P4. He is no stranger to these cars. Man, loving how this is. Nick loves this track, Indianapolis, and obviously showing it right now. So a great job. Matthew Fleming still holding on to that P7 unbelievably. That car has some right side damage that's pretty significant, and he's making it work.
Yeah, somehow Matt Fleming in the 88 has been able to stay out here in that top 10 spot. He got in some trouble early on, and you can see the damage, but man, doing a great job and figuring out, you got to work with what's coming to you.
That's right.
It's the number 4 car as well right there with Richard and the Toyota. He's top 10, 13 laps down, still staying in the mix, not too far behind the leader, but he may need a caution to work his way back up there to get this win.
Yeah, right now only 13 cars on the lead lap, and Josh Larson is about to get past potentially here pretty soon. Jackson Anderson way off the line right there. Not sure what's going on there. Anderson 1 lap down, but Josh Larson going to fight to stay on the lead lap.
Man, I'll tell you what, Steve, when we were on board with him and we were watching him race, Josh Larson hit that wall. He had pretty good contact. I think that's what maybe slowing him down quite a bit is when he did make that contact. He's still running that inside lane, looking real smooth in the 51. Look how close he gets to that wall coming out of 3 and 4. But he can't be too upset. I know he's dropping back, but still some time in this race to get back up to that top 10 mark.
For sure right now.
This season.
It's a great point. Right now, Nick Silver making the pass around DJ Honeycutt. So that's for 3rd position. Love that. A couple more drivers. Patrick McClendon having a wicked strong finish right now in P7. Great job right there. Daryl Young holding on to a 6th place finish. Really solid effort. Brandon 6 climbing his way back up to P5 right now. So great effort all around this place.
I'll tell you what, Steve, we go back up to the front, Frankie and Brandon Bowie kind of battling out real close. Caution is out, Steve. This is going to change everything right on the backstretch. And now we got Brandon Bowie getting a little bit loose. Man, what happened here? 12 laps in, 12 laps to go. Caution comes out, 11 as they cross. You talked about it, Steve. This is going to change the whole dynamic of the race.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man.
I mean, right now, it looks like it might have been Scott Gasorn. We'll go back and take a look. Scott is, I believe, quite a few laps down, maybe 20 laps down. Could be more than that. We'll go back and take a look here. Once we find it. Our system's giving us a bit of a hassle right now, so give us just a second so we can track that down. But here we go. Let's go Scott Gasorn all by himself here. Looks like. See what might have happened.
Gets to the inside, comes back out of that 3 and 4. Does he get loose up here? We talked about this as well. When you come back onto that throttle, that car tends to kind of wipe out on you, but that was later, almost to the end where we were at the start-finish line. It's a little bit loose there.
Yeah, we'll fast forward just a little tiny bit. Oh, there it is.
Contact there.
Oh,
he actually
gosh.
got into some contact there. Goes bad into the wall. Huge contact. Unfortunate there, but man, some of these drivers back in the pack, Steve, love to see this caution because hey, it's a new race.
Yeah, right
Man,
now,
oh man.
just to watch from high above. So Scott gets in, and then, yeah, I mean, just Devin Smirker just kind of gets into him. I mean, obviously, Scott checked up pretty hardcore right there, but tough break. I mean, it's not easy, especially right there on the front stretch as the leaders start to pass by. This saves a few drivers. Josh Larson, Brandon Six. I'm sorry, Josh Larson, the drivers who were about to go a lap down if it were to stay green. Yeah, this could definitely be massive for these guys. So tough break right here.
And now you got Brandon Six. He had to go in. He had to pit. He's got some tires. He got some fuel. He's sitting there up top. But man, oh man, that's just the whole dynamic of this race. Late in this race, to have a caution come out with 11 laps left, it throws everything out the window, especially for these guys up front that maybe thought they can go all the way through. But now we got to restack them. Hopefully our choose car is back after getting hit early in the race, as they will decide if they're going to go on the inside or outside lane.
Yeah, so the choose car I'm hearing is unfortunately DNF'd for the race. It cannot start. Again, we don't have coverage or a replay of what actually happened, but looks like that 39 car of Joseph Mealy might have gotten involved into that choose car. So they'll use the alternate choose method of the start-finish line here. Once they're ready, they'll basically just choose up high for the high line and down low for the low line. So, hey, sometimes these things happen. Right now, this restart, to your point, I mean, lap 9 right now, we're going to go green with about 8 laps to go. And a couple drivers stayed out. Josh Larson stays out onto the track, which is maybe a smart move. If he can make it on fuel, hey, why not? Get that track position, see what happens. Brandon Six, I can almost guarantee you this is a 2-tire strategy for Brandon Six. His specialty, so we'll see how that works out for him. Brandon Bowie 3rd and 4th, DJ Honeycutt 5th, and Richard Walsifer, man, P7. Even after all that, his stage 1 incident early on in the race. So far, this could change a lot. Josh Larson out front here. This could be huge for him. I kind of like Josh Larson's strategy. We've had some issues with the restarts, and we've had some early cautions on these restarts with maybe 1 lap in, 2 lap in. Maybe that's what he's thinking, kind of cool those tires off if he can maybe get 1 more and stay out front and hold off these boys. But it is a gamble. But hey, Josh Larson putting it all out there. He's sitting number 1 at the moment. He's going to be starting on the inside. But these guys with fresh tires back there, if it stays green with 9 laps left, I think it's going to be about 8, 7 when we go back green. That's going to be tough to hold them all off. And keep in mind, Josh was, I mean, he was really only about to go a lap down because he was one of the guys that pit recently. So his tires really aren't that old. And, you know, at this point, you know, just gamble. I mean, he was basically a top 5 car, more or less. And right now, hey, if we get, you know, late race restarts or cautions, this could change a lot. So right now, pace car lights are going to be off. We're going to go green with about 7 laps to go. We'll go and thank our sponsors real fast before we go back green. We'll come right back.
And we are back live here in Indianapolis. Just had our 7th caution, I believe, under racing conditions. 8 laps to go. Pace car lights are off, and we're going to go back to green flag racing. Josh Larson in the 51 is now up front, going to take us away into 1 and 2. Can he stay up front and maybe get a win? Brandon 6 is on that outside as we got a green flag. 48, big push on the 51. He may be taking it 3 wide.
Frankie.
As Josh Larson is going to get pushed way down below.
Man, Frankie wanted to go 3 wide there. It looked like that was a tough call. Josh maybe not had the best restart, but right there, holding on to it. Brandon 6 makes it work on the inside.
Oh, some contact with Frankie. 51's going to get sideways, and there goes the 51 on the inside. Still green right now. That's going to slow down Frankie in the 48. Man, oh man, big moving up front. That allows Brandon 6 in the 66, way up front with Brandon Bowie. Honeycutt in the 15, he's 3rd. Nick Silver's in 4th.
Yeah, tough break right there for Frankie and Josh Larson. Man, oh man, tough break. Right now, Brandon Bowie going to make a move here on the inside to get those fresher tires. 4 fresh, what can he do here?
6 laps to go. I think we're going to see a battle to the end as now the number 15 of DJ Honeycutt coming right on the 12 on the tail. He's in that Toyota. 54 is going to take it to the back to the inside around Brandon. Can he make it move? 6 laps to go, 5 when they cross.
Hey, do not count out DJ Honeycutt. He is right there. Those Bowie boys going to try and battle, but man, oh man, DJ, if he can watch out for it, he might steal this win away.
As we talked about it, they're trying to kill that draft right from behind. That's why they're swerving down. Brandon's going way low. Maybe it cost him some time, but guess what? Still up front. Brandon Bowie in the 54, still traveling. 15 of Honeycutt, keeping it real smooth in that 3rd position. 5 to go when they cross.
Man, crazy good racing between teammates. Again, Brandon Bowie, Season 3 champion. What can he do here to show off? Obviously the faster car, but can't quite get the bottom.
I'll tell you what, they continue to race back there. Now the number 15 of Honeycutt is right on the back of Brandon 6. Brandon Bowie on the outside. He's going to get a little bump from the 15. Now he's going to go back low. And here comes Nick Silver in the 11. He's in 4th. Now has made his way back. 4 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. Brandon 6 still up front.
Man, you can tell right here, it's so hard to pass. Brandon Bowie gets a great jump off of these corners, but just can't quite finish it. 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go. 15 still back there in third. I think he can make a run on these two. 11 and Nick Silver can also make a run. Brandon 6, though, out front, keeping it real calm and collective. 54, he'll try to make this move. Two teammates out front in the 1-2 position.
Brandon Bowie starting to lose a little steam here. Tires might have started to even out. Ooh, 6 has a wobble right there. Can Bowie capitalize?
Yeah, the 15 of Honeycutt and the 11 of Silver just can't make the run they need to get up there with them too. I think it's just going to be the battle as we're on board with the 54 of Bowie on the outside. You can see that side draft and a little bit of door shove as he's going to take the outside lane. 66 feeling comfortable all day on the inside, though. 3 laps to go.
Can Brandon Bowie make this move here on the outside? He is so close. Side by side. That's a great exit off of turn 2. Oh, Brandon 6 gets turned.
Contact. Brandon Bowie and Brandon 6. 6 goes into the wall. This is actually going to bring out the caution. Brandon 6 is going to fall all the way back to the pack. Unfortunate there. My, oh my. Brandon Bowie in the 54. 2 teammates with some contact out front. That's going to leave Honeycutt, Silver, Frankie now in 4th, and Young. That's your top 5. Unbelievable. We're going to have a green-white checkered flag race at the end of this, Steve.
Yes, sir. And right now, Brandon 6, not what you want to see. I mean, obviously tough racing between teammates. And, man, you can't ask for better racing right there. But such a great run by 6. Going to stay out here. Let's go back and take a look at what actually happened here from an alternate angle. I mean, side by side, you can't get any closer. Oh, 6 actually comes up into him. So 6.
Just a little bit. I don't know if that was net code or not coming off, but yeah, 6 looks like he comes up just a little bit on Brandon.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for there. We've seen that move before. I'm not going to mention where. Might have been Auto Club last year, but tough break. I mean, again, the side draft, you try and make that move. Normally you would think the inside lane would be the preferred lane. But right there, Bowie made it stick. I mean, we saw Frankie Barroso making it stick earlier. Just a tough break for 6. Obviously fighting for a win. Again, the whole world knows he's on 2 tires. Bowie is on 2. So again, it's just tough racing. 6 has got the 3 wins in the bag. Does he really care that he lost this? I don't know. Maybe not.
Yes, he does. Brandon 6 is a fierce competitor. I know he wanted to come out and win every single race, but this is the cool thing about it is watching 2 teammates just battle it out for the win. I mean, they're side by side putting on a show. You typically won't see that until later in the season to try to get that win, but right now they're putting all out on the line, and it was fun watching those guys battle it out. Unfortunately, Brandon 6 got the worst end of that, and now he is going to drop it into the pits, and he's going to be dropping way back in the field. But Brandon Bowie out here now in that 54 trying to get that win. Brandon 6 stole it from him in week 1 at Daytona. So let's see if he can see if Brandon Bowie can come out and get a win tonight.
I mean, and again, too, like right here, I mean, we're seeing Devin Smirker come down, take 4 tires. He was kind of, in the back of the pack of the lead lap cars. So taking 4 fresh tires here and just seeing what happens, it's a smart move. I mean, 4 fresh tires right now with 3 laps to go. I mean, assuming we stay green, then hey, that might be a big difference between, getting around, who we have to get around. So might be a great call right there. But hey, this is going to be our first attempt at a green-white checkered, our first of the season actually. So far, great to see that. And we get 3 of them if we need them. So keep that in mind.
Some of these guys, right above on the lead lap, right above the guys that are, a couple laps down, you can go down there and get fresh tires and not lose spots. So that's what they're doing. They're going down there. They're going to get some fresh tires to try to make their way late in this race. I guess it's only, green, white, checkered flag, but to try to get through the field and gain some spots as much as they can. So
Yeah.
Again, you're right. I like what they're doing in the back there, but everybody up front, they're just going to try to hang on and get a win here. Nick Silver in that 11, we've been talking a lot about him. Let's see if he can make it happen in that Jordan car.
Yes, sir. One person I'm keeping my eyes on is that DJ Honeycutt in the 15. I mean, we saw Six and Bowie use up a lot of their tires. So, to try and pass Bowie on the outside and, so did DJ Honeycutt save enough tire, to maybe hold off Brandon Bowie? Or again, we're going off the green flag at this track. We're not going off of a restart zone. So they're going to get an even jump. If DJ Honeycutt has fresher tires, maybe this could be interesting real quick.
That is a fantastic point, and you're right. DJ Honeycutt in that 15 was just kind of hanging back while they were battling out front and doing a really good job of being patient. He didn't overdrive the car. He was just kind of letting the race come to him, and now he's found himself in second position, starting on the outside lane, and Frankie in that 48 is going to be right behind him. So I don't know if he's going to drop down below the 54. That's his teammate, but last restart, Frankie was on a tear. Let's see if he can stay right behind the 15 on this restart as well. And we're about to go back racing on this green, white, checkered flag. Steve, this is becoming a fantastic end of this race. A lot of stuff going on, and I'm not exactly sure who's going to win, but this pace car is off. We're going to go back one more time. Green, white, checkered flag. Indianapolis Motorsports for the All Things Go Podcast 200. Brandon Bowie on the inside, 15 on the outside of Honeycutt. Nick Silver in the mix now. He's in second right there in that top 5.
Amazing job by Brandon Bowie. He wants to see that white flag right now. White flag comes out. Next flag will end it. And right here, man, Nick Silver making a great move for P2. Watch this pack 3 wide here. Oh, McClendon going to be in the wall. Smirker on those fresh tires, already back in P7. But Brandon Bowie taking that white flag.
White flag's out. Interesting here, Steve, as they're single file up front. Can anybody catch Brandon Bowie in that Toyota? Number 11, Nick Silver, is in second, trying to make it work. Frankie Barroso, DJ Honeycutt. '48's going to try to make a move past Silver and the 11 to take third. Excuse me, second. On the inside, can he make it work? Brandon Bowie is going to be your winner here at Indianapolis. Nick Silver and Frankie. Nick Silver's going to take it. Frankie Barroso on the 48. He is third. Unbelievable finish here, Steve. Brandon Bowie made it work.
Man, that was an absolute drag race for P2. Nick Silver and Frankie Barroso. Awesome job right there. But Brandon Bowie, love to see that. Breaks through in Season 5. Brandon Bowie, Season 3 champion, is back. Loves this track of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And in that 54 Bowie Esports car, finds himself back in victory lane in the ASRA Cup Series. You'd love to see that. P2, Nick Silver, subbing in for Kenny Reel. Man, what's with subs nowadays? Doing fantastic.
This is coming out here and doing work, I guess.
Love that. Nick Silver.
Man, Brandon Bowie came out here and fought for that one. Whoa. It's Brandon 6. It's in the fence. I don't think I've seen a car. Actually, he's behind the wall in the pits. Oh.
Love that.
Brandon in the 54. He's going to burn him up a little bit here as his teammates watch on.
Love that. This victory celebration brought to you by SimMotion. Go check them out right now. SimMotion.com. A lot of great products there for sim racing. All kinds of stuff. Fantastic job here. Brandon Bowie burning it down at Indianapolis. Gonna go and kiss the bricks here in just a second. Awesome, awesome job for Brandon Bowie. Well, folks, we're gonna go thank our sponsors real quick, then we'll come back and we'll interview our top 3.
And we are back here in Indianapolis. Brandon Bowie got the win in the 54, but Frankie in that 48, he finished third. We're going to bring him in first and have a word with him. Frankie Barroso in that 48. Frankie, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Hi, Frankie. Hey, good race. You finished in the top 3 again, got another podium. What are your thoughts on this race here at Indianapolis?
I mean, it was an okay race. I think 6 was definitely the fastest car here, but I thought maybe we were like 2nd or 3rd. Yeah. I mean, it just sucks because I'm probably gonna get 5 penalty points, and that's a loss of 5 points that I could have gained on 6 in the regular season championship. So, that sucks. But yeah, either way, we got another 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. You guys are really coming out and dominating. Steve, real quick, I think sorry for cutting you off.
No, all good. Yeah, Frankie talked to us about that. We saw. I mean, it didn't bring out a caution per se, but that contact with Josh Larson. What happened there?
Okay, so on the restart, he had a pretty good start, and he wanted to block to the left to stop me from going 3 wide, and that's fine. But in doing that, like, he kind of, when he upshifted, it kind of put me at his right rear, middle 3 wide. I didn't want to be there, so I lifted, try to get back in line, and then once we got to turn 2, once I lifted, I don't even think I even touched the gas again. And I just kind of saw him, and I'm like, no, please don't touch him. Please don't touch him. Please don't touch him. And I tapped him. And once I saw him go sideways, I'm like, dang it. I mean, it sucks because I probably had a chance at least at winning the race. But, at least Bowie got his first win. That's good. Yeah, I'm sorry to Josh. If, I tried about everything I could to not run into him, and it's just sometimes it's just one of those things.
Well, hey, man, next week we're going to be at the Indianapolis Road Course. We're still here for a back-to-back week. What are your thoughts on the Indy Road Course? We know you're a road course favorite, so how do you think it'll go?
To be honest, I don't know, because I have ran Indy, the new one, before, but not in a cup car. So, I mean, I've ran it in like in a prototype, and I like the track, honestly. I really like it. It just kind of, The big thing is how can we keep the front tire temps to a minimum? Because at these road courses, those are front temps are a big thing, and that'll kind of determine who's really the fastest. So I don't know. I'm guessing six will probably be really good there too. I don't know how everybody else will be, but I assume everyone's going to be pretty good there. So I'm just gonna
Yes,
have
sir.
to. I'm just gonna have to keep digging.
Well, hey, man, great job today. Give a shout out to your sponsors, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, man. I'd like to thank you guys honestly, first of all, for bringing the show to the fans, for keeping keeping us going every week, man. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, UC, for running the league. Thank you to my teammates, Bowie Esports, Brennan Bowie, Nick Silver, Brennan Six, Matt Smith, Kenny. Kenny unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, so hopefully he's doing all right. And yeah, just thank you to everybody that makes this the world go around, I guess.
Love that. That right there is Frankie Barroso finishing P3 in that 48 Bowie Esports machine. Love to see that. Emery, we're going to bring in our P2 finisher, subbing in for Kenny Real, Nick Silver.
Yeah, Nick Silver. Hey, Nick Silver, you there?
Hello.
Hello. Good to hear your voice. I love to see your name here on the tower. You got second here at Indianapolis. How do you feel back in the car, subbing for Kenny in that Jordan?
I mean, it was pretty fun. Had to get used to the car. It's been, I think, a couple months or a little over a month since I raced it, so had to relearn it a little bit. But luckily the setup was pretty good. Usually these things are pretty trash, but the setup felt good, so it was fun to race this car with actually a decent setup. But yeah, it was good being back. I wish we could add a little bit cleaner race, some longer green flag runs, but what we got was good.
Yeah, it was fun to watch you guys up here in the booth. Steve, you got something for Nick Silver?
Yeah, I mean, we expected Indianapolis to definitely, we were saying before, first 3 or 4 races were kind of softball tracks, but Indianapolis is definitely not always the easiest. But hey, I mean, back-to-back weeks, the sub has finished in the top 3, man. Again, it's great to see you back in that number 11 today. Hope to see you more on the track. Love to see it. But great finish. You had involved in a wreck early in the race with Roger Pierce, where he bounced off. Actually, he got loose off the wall in turn 2, I believe. How'd you recover from that? I mean, we thought you had damage, but obviously P2 finish looked solid.
Yeah, I had a little over a minute of damage after that, and I thought for sure I was freaking killed because, you know, I thought I was going head on, then I thought I was going to miss the wall, and then it pancaked, and
Yeah.
I thought I was done, but somehow it didn't kill the steering, so once it fixed all the body damage, you know, there was no engine damage. It was surprisingly stout. I think I was maybe losing a little bit on the straightaway, but it was hard to tell.
Awesome. Love that, man. Hey, again, congrats on the P2. Give us any shout out for sponsors you might have. And yeah, dude, congrats.
Just gotta say thanks to you guys for allowing me to race, and Bowie Esports, you know, team's awesome. Hope Kenny feels better. He was under the weather. That's why I'm subbing for him. And yeah, hopefully we could do a couple more of these this year.
Yes, sir. Nick Silver right there, finishing P2. Awesome job again, Bowie Esports, man. I'll tell you what, absolutely on a tear. Love to see it. Right now, we're going to bring in our winner, Brandon Bowie. Emery, take it away, man.
Brandon Bowie in the 54 got the win. Brandon, how are you feeling on top here today at Indianapolis?
I feel good, but at the same time, I feel bad. I literally watched my teammate go basically head on to the wall. So, you know, not feeling the best as a team owner. I wish all of us could have, you know, had a good run. But, you know, other than that, I mean, I feel really, really good. I finally got a win. You know, I've been really, really pushing to try and get back into the winner's circle. Finally got it done, and I'm ready to celebrate.
Absolutely, man. This could be close to your second win this year for season 5. You know, Daytona, you almost had it. You finished second, but did a great job out here. You're really consistent. It was fun watching you and Six battle it out side by side. I know you guys were teammates, but man, put on a show up here in the booth. You guys are door to door about 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's telling me things like, "Oh, I'm holding on," and I'm like, "So am I." So when me and Six battle, and that's why he's such a great teammate. Like me and him could battle door to door, and we had just so much respect for each other that even though we're very competitive, like we understand we're still putting on a heck of a show. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to get trophies and trying to get wins. But we're also having fun doing it. So, gotta also give a shout out to Nick Silver. He's stubbing for Kenny tonight. Finished P2, had a good run for him after he got damaged early. Frankie strong all night. Some of the other guys unfortunately had some issues, but that we'll all bounce back for next week, which I believe it's a road course. So I think we probably know who's gonna win that race, but hopefully we can give him a little chase.
Absolutely. Well, before you get out of here, Brandon, thank your sponsors, and congratulations again on that win.
Yeah, only sponsor I got this season is just my team, Bowie Esports. So thanks to everybody back at the base for doing what they love to do, which is race, giving feedback on what's going on with the cars, and just being, I guess, good people. I guess.
Absolutely.
Thanks to family as well, and thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. And gotta thank Indy. Indy's one of my favorite places, so it'll be interesting once where we go for next week. So this should be fun.
Well, there you have it. Number 54, Brandon Bowie, with the win here at the All Things Go Podcast 200 in Indy. Man, Steve, it was a rough start, but midway and at the end of this race, it finished out pretty well, and it was fun to watch these guys do what they do.
Yeah, I mean, a track like this, you definitely expect to have, a lot going on. I mean, we've covered it multiple times. The track is not easy, especially with 30 cars on track. You don't always go here for the season or even like these A-class races and stuff like that. So a lot can definitely change. But, I mean, at the end of the day, overall, wasn't too bad. To your point, early incidents and some little mishaps here and there, but overall, solid effort. And Brandon Bowie finds himself back into victory lane. Love that. Next week, we're right back here, Emery, Indy Road Course. We'll be going the other way this time, down towards turn 4, and going to be a lot of fun. So if we learned anything from the real world race, I think it'll be a fun time. Definitely a challenge, but I think we're in position to see what these guys can do.
Yeah, I can't wait for for next week. I think the Indy Road Course will be a lot of fun to watch these guys come out and do things a little bit differently. But there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of good drivers that can make that happen. But before we send it off, big shout out to Bowie Esports and Brandon Bowie in the 54 getting that win. Silver in second. Frank in that 48 got third. And man, rest of that field, fantastic job. Big shout out to Brian Murphy coming in, having a word with us at the second stage. It was good to hear from him. He's a good dude. Check him out. Check out his podcast, All Things Go Podcast. And he's on social media as well. Check him out on Twitter. Next week, we go to Indy Road. That'll be a little bit different. But until then, everyone stay safe in Florida, and we will be back next week. Thank you, and good night.